Welcome here to the NFHS Network. Justin Padgett with Nick Cahill at Rio Vista High School for an 8-man football game here, ladies and gentlemen. We're all going to see something very intriguing. Cornerstone versus Branson. Nick, let's talk about this game here, 8-man football. A little bit different than our typical football game.
Yeah, this is a small-town football at its finest. Both of these teams come in on a steamrolling win streak. But it is, of course, a grudge match, rematch from earlier season where the two got into a high scoring shootout. So it'll be interesting here tonight with verse 2.
Should be a good game. We're going to take a quick break for our anthem, and we'll be right back. Welcome back here to NFHS Network. Dustin Padgett again, getting ready for our opening kickoff here in a few minutes. Nick, we expect to see a lot of points, as you were just mentioning. The opening game that these two teams played earlier this season in October was a 66-62 affair, over 120 points. With short field, only 80 yards wide and 40 yards, or 80 yards long, 40 yards wide, you can only expect there to be a lot more offense and defense.
Definitely, that was about as jam-packed of a score as you can get. Over 120 points put up by the team, so it'll be interesting to see how they attack. Judging by stats and kind of their past games, you can see that they're kind of opposing styles. If you look at last game, Branson, they advanced by beating South Fork. They threw 7 touchdowns through the air, while on the other side, the quarterback for Cornerstone didn't even have one pass attempt total. So running game versus a pass game is what we might see here tonight.
Well, yeah, definitely. And again, like I said, a lot of points on the board. This championship game here in the O Division, whichever one of these two teams wins tonight will come out as the champs. We have our kickoff here. Branson kick Cornerstone. It's fielding. They're going to have an immediate little circulation here. Try the reverse, get past the 25, give up the 27-yard line mark out of bounds there. Nice little effort on that opening kickoff.
Yeah, that was Jake Ebert who came around on reverse. Kind of lost his footing here. That was one thing I wanted to get your take on, Dustin. I was down on the field earlier. It's kind of wet. Had a little bit of rain here in NorCal the last couple of days, so we'll see if traction plays any kind of role in the game.
Yes, I believe it will. I was noting there was some mud right on the side coming in here, not directly on the field, but on track area. So light field is going to be pretty wet. So hopefully the Guns are able to give them their best effort. First of the game, we are going to run from the quarterback. It's going to be a nice one to that. It's going to be a first down, and then I'll give him about 13 yards there for Minor. Well done. He's one of the captains.
Yeah, good ball carry there. Minor is one of the leading rushers on this team as he goes across right edge and towards his shoulder for that first down.
Yeah, that's exactly the way that these boys wanted to start this affair. And they're going to have the ball right at the midfield mark, or actually right at the 35. Home to midfield, first down play. See if they're back to the ground. They will. Same idea here. Minor to the outside, and he's going to have the edge again. Probably going to be a little bit short of the first down, maybe a yard, bring up 2nd and 1 here. But that's a good play there from their good idea. They did it 2 plays in a row. They're going to their bread butter at the moment.
Yeah, he picked block from his big tight end, at least in that formation, which Matthew Broad, number 42. I think we're going to see a lot of lead blocking there by Broad, who also carried the ball quite a bit out of this formation.
Yes, we see another light run. You called it there. Broad going to go first down. He's not going to get it. going to be tackled about a yard short to get loses a little ground. Some spots, so bring up third and 3. Great job from the defense there. Multiple men in there on the tackle for the Bulls.
Yeah, you got to assume that with an 8-man football, formation style that we're seeing tonight, the game's going to be won on the edge, but also in the D tackle spot there, and that was a good job by Branson.
Run right up the middle. He has no problem being that first down. And just from an immediate glance, the thing I noticed right here is that Broad is a big young man, and his size on that defensive line is actually bigger than every one of those defensive line and in the linebackers as well. He's bigger than all of them, so that could come into big trouble for the Bulls here moving forward. If they continue to just feed the ball to him, it'll be tough to take him down. I mean, he's got quite a big size to him.
Yeah, that combination of Brandon Minor is getting on here. 2 quick first downs at the game.
Minor to the outside. Now, that's some good defense there. Only a 2-yard gain.
Good job of coming in to make the hit. Left Graham from the linebacker position for Branson. Good pursuit.
We've seen Branson Bulls stopping them on 2 runs so far. They had a couple plays going and one there. So they have the method to the madness. Can do it. And as of right now, if I were them, I would sell out on the run. That's all that we've seen so far. We don't see a wide receiver out there. So sell out, put all your men in the box, and get them stopped. Here's Minor again to the outside. Likely going to be a first in, and it will. Good job him there on the second play. Give him about 9 and maybe 10 yards out of him. Minor so far, 4 carries, about 4 yards.
Yeah, showing off a little bit of quickness there as he's able to shed that leg tackle and burst toward the sideline, putting them closer into the red zone here.
Yes, they're now down to the 21-yard line here with the first down. Just a minute 47 seconds off this opening quarter. The middle of the Broad, and good pursuit. Good job for the Bulls there. They don't give him much of anything. We'll give him 3 yards on down. But the Cougars, you don't mind that because you're continuing to run the ball. You've been running it every play so far. That's just first down. A couple more plays, you got yourself less yards to gain here. If you get another 3 or 4 yard run times in a row, it's your first down. We will see just at a run up the middle. That should get them the first down. We will see on the spot, right at the 6. I think I give it to him. He needed the 11. They're going to 10. It's the first down goal.
Yeah, it looked like kind of a playing QB run right up the middle, and a nice job there by Minor.
Yeah, as of right now, Minor seems to be more, even though he lined up as a quarterback, he's more as a running back. He might get a touchdown here to the outside, and he will! Dives high, lets the ball out. Minor in, touchdown. And just like that, the Cougars ugly here in the first quarter. First game, they go down 70 yards to the end zone.
Yeah, it looked like the same exact play dialed up for Cornerstone, and instead this time of going up the middle, Minor cuts to the outside and lunges at the pylon. Touchdown.
Yeah, that seems to be a very tough thing to stop. We see by a lot of points being, but they're going for 2. They're going to hit the bottom middle. It's going to be close. They're going to give it to him. He's sneaking there. I give the Bulls defensive length there. They could Broad, but that's those scenarios where he's one of those guys. You just need a yard to get to him. So we're going to see that move forward. That's a lead combination of Minor and Broad. If Branson Bulls to win this game, seems very simple to me. You're going to have to match the scoring output that you're going to see Cornerstone because the offense there was very tough to stop.
Yeah, in that formation I ran so successfully, including on that 2-point conversion of Broad and Minor in backfield, really put a lot of pressure on the Bulls up front because Minor has that option toss, as you just saw, to big man as he lunged forward.
And we can only imagine that's probably not their only combination of running backs. I'm sure we're going to get a couple of these other guys in the mix, but for the opening drive of the game, I really like seeing that. That's very smart to do. Show them exactly who you are, what you're about. This is the championship game. This is what you've been playing all season for. You know what worked for you. And they said, hey, this is what works for us. We'll show you. They did just that. Opening kickoff is go back for touchback there. That very beneficial there for the Cougars. I'm surprised the Bulls did not field one.
Yeah, and interesting to note, of course, we're dealing with smaller rosters. The Cornerstone, you mentioned, has about 14 players here tonight. So, of course, a lot of them are going to be playing base, but that Minor on kickoff, too. So he's never going to get a break, it looks like, unless he's also perhaps the punter.
Yes, there's only a couple of players here that on the sideline, of course, for Cornerstone, and we're talking about that in the pre-go. They have less than half the guys that Branson has, but Cornerstone here's the number 1 team. They have not lost in 18 games. They're on fire. They are no slack by any means. So if you're Branson Bulls, just because you have more guys, not you're going to be the best team here tonight. And as you see, early going, you're already down by 8 points. Let's see what they can do on their opening drive. You're going to pitch out to the left side. Nice play there. Huge hole. First and then some. Give him about 13 yards first down. Excellent play call.
A lot of room to run there. Graham, it took the pitch and a lot of daylight. Trucks forward for a big gain on first play of the game.
Yes, good job there from Graham. And as you mentioned here, we see 3 wide receivers, so completely different formation. Then we saw from Cornerstone for the run. Branson play the pass. Let's see how that comes into the goal. Do you have a receiver out there? And it's caught! And they're going to be a house call! It's like the Branson Bulls. And look at the sign going nuts out there. What a play that was, Nick. Ow.
Meyer to his big target, and he just tosses one up there. The lights down and hauled in by Roach, and he's able to break the tackle. And the first pass of the game for either team goes for a big-time touchdown.
Hey, we talked about points being scored. Well, we're just 3 minutes into the game. We've got a couple of touchdowns. At this pace, it's going to be a little higher than their last one, which I didn't think would be possible. But, hey, we'll never know until we see it. Going for 2 here. Match the points on the other end. Cougars, Bulls. Just see a run here. But, again, they're formed pass, and they're going to go pass. They're going to have the guy wide open. misses the throw there. Meyer, I think he wants that one back.
Yeah, it looked like he had a man open. Was George's intended target who broke free, and the pass just sailed on him a bit. Nonetheless, how about a response that quickly from Branson here? Technically, the away team, both were playing at a neutral site, but that's how you really get inside of the crowd back into it.
Oh, yeah, their crowd and their bench players were all lit up there. And, Coach, if you're Coach Pond, you have to be happy with that response. I mean, they couldn't have done it any better just in a couple of plays. Got the touchdown back. I think the only thing they wish they could have had differently with 2-point conversion back because, again, that was a really simple play there from Meyer to George. Pitch and catch type situation. He just wasn't able to make that pass. Kickoff here from the 30. Little poo kick. That's going to be fielded at 20, and he's got to bounce 23. I think they're going to, and they will. So he got up to the 25. His left foot touched that sideline. So that pooch kick actually benefits. They're only a 3-yard return.
Yeah, it was a little bit different strategy than we've seen on the other two kickoffs. Here, of course, again, we're going to mention over and over tonight, but 8-man football, it's a lot harder to fill those lanes. The kickoff team, a lot of room to run to the returners, so strategy there.
See, 8 men in the box, and for both sides. And we're going to get a pass here. Here we go, and it's wide open. Easy catch there, all the way out to midfield, crossing in to the Bulls territory on the 39-yard line. Them a 20 or a 22-yard gain there on that one. What a play! You never expected to see the pass, and that's exactly why they line up to run, and they're running it so well. Gotta love play calling here so far for the Cougars. They're doing everything right offensively. Let's see what happens here. Brought on the run. Runs over a couple of guys. Give him about 5 yards, but what there? I would not want to be having to tackle that man.
No, broad shoulders right from flat back guy. And you mentioned it. It's a tall order tonight, tackling and bringing him down. And it looks like most of his damage is done between the half marks, too. So definitely a tough match here tonight.
And we're going to get a reminder. He fakes it to his running back up the middle. Only going to get a couple yards. It's going to bring up short of the line gain. Good job there. Branson defense. It's going to bring up 3rd. That's a dangerous spot. Here is where you look for broad. Let's see if you give him the ball right here. Say, hey, fella, go get 3 yards. Or you could fit, go for a play-action pass, or even run with Minor to the outside. They've got all those options. They give it Ebert instead. Oh, man. They didn't do any of the options that I thought. They give something completely different, and they get about 11 yards in the thing. What a
Jacob Ebert, say, don't forget about he already caught that pass on down and kind of surprised everybody early and is on the carry to keep the drive live for the Cougars.
Yeah, that was great play there from Ebert. Again, not what we were expecting. That's exactly what a good play calling is all about. Mixing it up to get to even where the analysts upstairs like us have no idea what's coming up. No false start there. Look close. Give it to Broad on the outside. Pursuit is there. That's good defense. Broad still pick yards, though, even when the deep pursuit is right there.
Good job by Austin Grant for Branson. Bring down the big running Broad from behind. Kind of saw that play and allow a couple of yards.
Yeah, Branson's defensive front getting better. They're making some tackles on the run. The last 3 runs, actually, before the Ebe play, had they been signing them to normal games. See if they continue to do that. Might be a Broad here, and we're going to get a pitch back. Ebert from Broad, but the pursuit right there. Branson players there, including Josh Beer. He was, and also Jack Glenn. Both of them were in on tackle. They did a good job, and all that, and we have a chance here about halfway through the first quarter for our first defensive stop on either side.
Yeah, first, third, and long situation that we've seen, but a little bit trickery by Cornerstone. Doesn't work out. Good job of staying disciplined by Branson.
Yes, and following that fake, there's going to be a pass. Minor going to run to the outside, has no room there, makes that throw. He didn't really have much of anything going. That was great pursuit. The Bull Meyer was in on that one. Quarterback, he goes ways, as you can see, and he was able to pursue that one. 4th down and 8, and now you're in a situation here where likely you're going for it. You're obviously not punting it here. We have not seen any field goal attempts yet, and we will be going for a 4th down. So, hey, this is a huge spot here early in this game for the Bulls. Run outside. It's all going to be at that extra effort. He keeps going. He's going to get 1st down. Oh, my goodness. What a play there. How about that for the 1st down? It looked like he popped a couple balls down 3 yards short, but he takes extra length for 1st down, 12-yard gain.
Just punting run there by Minor. 4th down, 8. He lowers his shoulder and just piles forward, and 2 Branson defenders with him to set up 1st down and goal.
He's going to take it himself right here up the middle. Nothing doing. He's going to maybe get a yard, maybe back to the line. But that's a good pursuit again for the Branson defense. And that's going to bring a 2nd and goal. Mine wanted to get himself on that one, we could see. And I don't blame him after the last run. I'm still taken back about his effort there. He's not the biggest guy on this field by any means, but he was able to use pure strength to get that 2nd down. Run right up the middle again. We got our first penalty of the game there. Don't know about that play call. Same play, back to play. line. And again, here the Bulls right back to it, doing exactly what they needed to do. And what we saw there was a little bit of blaze from Blaze Meyer. He's got a little bit of speed behind him. We've seen that before with on the other side with Miner. Now we got to see what he can do with his legs, see if he can kind of match that output as well, because in this game you're going to see a lot of QB runs. Going to be a pass here. Fakes it here. Going to get to the outside, and again we're going to see a little bit of speed from him, and that's a good play. That's a really good heads-up play there from Blaze. He saw that he had guys coming his direction. Nobody was open down the field. He does a little pump fake and then gets what he could on the outside, give him 5 yards.
Yeah, good job of improvising there and just making something out of nothing, really, as he turns his back to the defense and spins around, and he's able to push in for a 5-yard gain.
We just got our first time out of the game there for the Cougars, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the NFHS Network. Welcome back here. After that first time out there for the Cougars, and it's a good one. I like that. They really haven't had much luck on the defensive side. They know that they're scoring a lot of points. I feel like in this game, one defensive stop would be such a huge momentum shift either way, and we might not be seeing very many of them all game long. So if you see a defensive stand where you're getting a turnover or forcing a punt or a turnover of downs, that's what you're looking for as a defense, and that's why Coach there called the timeout trying to see, hey, what can we do to stop them? 2nd and 5. Meyer's going to go deep. Has a man there. Might be a flag. We'll see. Yes, we will. Both officials threw the flag. Actually, 3 of them threw a flag. That's going to be pass interference. We saw that one, unfolding in front of us. That was a good effort from the cornerback. I will give him that. But unfortunately, you can't just drape yourself over the wide receiver like that, and that's going to lead to a big PI penalty.
Yeah, he really made no effort to turn around and, make a play on that ball, and the intended target was Luke George, and he kind of just had his hands wrapped around the defender trying to bring that one in, and the ball was underthrown, so if the DB does try to turn around and make a play, there's probably no flag.
Yeah, the DB needs to do a little bit better of a job there to make a play on the ball. That's going to bring up a first down here, all the way down to the 21, just a hair outside of the red zone. First down play. We see 2 wide and 4 blockers. It's going to be another pass. Has a receiver out there. It's going to be a catch. Good pursuit for the tackle. Going to be about a 5-yard gain there. Luke George with the reception. One of his favorite targets. We've called his name quite often here in the early going. Good route run there from George.
Yeah, nice job there on first down. And, Mayer actually had a high snap that he had to corral in, and is able to keep his eyes upfield and hit George in the flat.
That'll be a 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 5. Let's see if they go to the ground game here. I'd like to see them incorporate that as well. We saw on the first play of the game they did. They will not. Back to the air, going deep for the touchdown. One-on-one coverage. Ball is caught. Touchdown in the back of the end zone. Easy pitch and catch there, and that looks tough to stop. So both of these teams doing the offense just the way they like it, coming out here tonight knowing exactly what works for them. How about that play there, Nick?
Yeah, that was Meyer to Roach again in the very back left edge of the end zone, and using that big, tall frame and that size advantage. As you can see, Roach is listed at 6'3", and definitely one of the taller players here in this game, and so far he's hauled in 2 deep bombs for touchdowns.
Now a 2-point conversion attempt to cut it to a 2-point game here with 3:07 in the opening quarter. Going to be a pitch, possibly it will be, and he's got the edge. How about that for a play there? The pitch wasn't the prettiest pitch in the world, but you know what? Meyer knew what he needed to do. He knew what the play call was. He knew how to execute it. Like I said, wasn't pretty, but they got the job done, and once the running back caught that ball, he knew immediately where he needed to go as well. So both quarterback and running back knew exactly what they needed to do there, and they got the job done.
Impressive run by Graham, who we've only seen get a couple of touches so far, but he takes that pitch, and there were two Cornerstone defenders there waiting for him, but he took them on head on and got just enough for that two-pointer.
Now it's a 16-14 game, so the only blemish so far for the Bulls on offense was that missed two-point conversion. At the moment, that's what's putting them behind the 8 ball. Let's see if they can come out on the defensive end and get something done. Kickoff here. Let's see if we get a longer kick from them this time. We don't. They're going to stick with that same pooch kick idea. Fielded at the 18. Nice return here out to the 25. Breaks off a couple tackles and falls down at about the 30-yard line. Could have been better, but they will take that without a doubt there. That was Louis Shukahosi there with that return.
Yeah, special teams can, really make a big difference here on this shorter field. And just right there, a nice 10-yard return puts you only 10 yards from midfield. So pretty good starting field position off a, semi-short return there.
And here, as we see, just one free safety, if you will, but he's not really far back for a free safety. Roach is going to be on the pitch, or Broad on the pitch, and he is using his body and size, but also shows that he's got a little bit of mobility and agility out there, because once he gets going, he's hard to take down, and will give Broad a 14-yard gain in the first down.
A little bit of Jerome Bettis going on out here. He took that pitch well behind the quarterback, so he was actually about 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, picks up some speed, and he turns it into a 13-yard run.
Yeah, very tough to stop that if you're the Bulls. Seemingly going to be a tough day here on that end, and they're going to be a run and a few missed tackles and some more missed tackles. How about that from Ebert? Breaks off about 3 or 4 tackles there. Fancy gain of 8 yards on first down.
Yeah, a hard punishing run as he took that pitch with some speed, and once he got his shoulders upfield, threw a couple of defenders off of him, dragged down at the 30-yard line. Drive continues into Branson territory just like that.
First down play here. Let's see if there's more of the ground game. It's going to be a pitch to Ebert. There's defenders there, but he gets by them. Ooh. Only had one guy left to beat for a possible touchdown. He was able to be tripped up there. It's a good job to trip him up from Jack Dunning over here on the side. But that will be a first down. I mean, he only needed a couple to get the first down, and now they're on the 21-yard line right on the cusp of the red zone. And so far, the Bulls, look back to that 4th and 8 play. Other than that, haven't had too many chances to stop the Cougars here. First down, going to be a run right here to Broad, and he is moving quickly. And that's exactly what you would do to go tackle him. That's a good tackle made from Charlie Goldstein, goes at his legs. That's what you want to do with a big guy like that, is you want to try to go at his legs. You don't want to go at his upper body.
Yeah, and that was an interesting formation as we saw Ebert and Broad in the backfield with Minor, so he had his options all right in front of him, and again, that kind of trickery and that kind of misdirection can throw off the defense.
Second down and 4 play. It's going to be a run up the middle to Broad, and finally the Bulls are able to stop that young man in the backfield for a loss. Give them credit there on that tackle.
Collision in the backfield. Broad, we've really yet to see him fall backwards on any of his touches yet. And that time it was a good stand by Branson. Tag teamed him on the tackle to drop him 3rd and 4.
Yeah, Cade Cessna was in on that one. 3rd and 4 play, going to be a run to the outside. Likely going to be a first down. Ooh, good pursuit there from Branson. Might have stopped him short. No, officials are going to give him the spot that he needed. Needed to get to the 11. They're at the 10.5. Likely going to move the chains. They're talking about it. If they do, they're going to do a little measurement here, but based on where they placed the ball and based on where they needed to get, it looks like it's about a first down by about a half a yard. So we'll see after they bring the chains out here. And, of course, the chains on the opposite side of the field. So while we have a moment, Digital Download, the NFHS network is pleased to introduce digital downloads to our high school sports coverage. Just click the blue digital copy box directly under the event video player to buy a digital copy of this event. And as always, you can purchase a DVD keepsake of today's event by clicking on the blue Get the DVD button or by clicking on Buy a DVD button on the top right-hand corner of the NFHS network website. Make today's memories last a lifetime with a DVD or digital download from the NFHS network. We are high school. And they will give them the first down. They took that whole measurement time, which to see what by the naked eye would seemingly they would have just been able to say, hey, this is a first down, because they started on the 21 and that ball was on about the 10.5-yard line there.
Yeah, you called it right away from up here in the press box, and that should put them right on the edge depending on the spot. They may be able to get a first down before a touchdown. So, yeah, they'll be just outside the 10-yard line.
You're just right. They put the stick right on about the half-yard line. So, you know what? End of the quarter. That'll be our quarter break here. 16-14, an exciting opening quarter. Exactly what we expected. They're on pace for more points than we saw in the last affair. We'll take a quick break here and come back for our second quarter here on the NFHS Network. Welcome back here. Second quarter here at Rio Vista High School in the Open Division Championship game. NorCal football playoffs going on all over the state of California right now. Super exciting time on this Friday evening. We're glad to have you guys here with us to enjoy this one. Ooh, looked like that might have been a false start there. They weren't going to call it. Instead, we're going to get a run to the outside, and Broad actually pursued pretty well there. He's only going to gain about 1.5 yards. Give the credit there to the Branson Bulls defense. That was Dunning in on the tackle. Yeah,
Broad tried to stiff arm there to give himself a little more time to catch the edge, and a good job of pursuing and gang tackling him there. And you've seen that approach kind of work a few times as the Branson defense is really starting to swarm.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 8. Two running backs lined up to the right, both Ebert and Broad. It's going to be Ebert up the middle, and that's a good tackle there. What looked like he was going through that hole for the first down, all of a sudden he gets flipped back to the ground. That was Mike Costello in on that tackle there.
Yeah, nice job of ripping him down and really saving a touchdown, as it looks like Ebert had enough forward momentum to pile that thing through before being grabbed around his waist. So nice job.
Bulls are understanding what's coming at them. They know that the run's coming. If they just got to make better tackles and win the battles up front, which they did right there, is exactly what they did on the 3rd and 5 play. I see the official giving him a gain of 1 yard there. Looked to me like he was actually down in the backfield, but either way, that's going to bring up a 4th down play. Ebert stopped on that one. There was many Bulls defenders in on that tackle. It's going to bring up a 4th down, and now they do the right spot, 4th and 5. They actually moved that back 1 yard. That's exactly where it looked like he went down. Let's see what happens here on this 4th down play. Big chance for Branson up the middle. That might not get it done. He pushes the pile, and he's in there. Oh, no. They had a chance to stop him. 4th down. It wasn't quite 4th and goal. They could have gotten a first down inside the 1, but he was able to push through that pile and win. He sneak inside there with his body and just get in there for the end zone. What a touchdown.
Starting to sense a trend here now, Dustin. If it's 4th down, Minor's going to keep that ball and do it himself.
He's going to try the same thing, and we penalty flag. Let's see if it's actually a pre-snap penalty. It's going to be a false start, and that could be a key for this 2-point conversion now, which, if you remember early going in this game, the Bulls missed one. So if they can get a stop here on this one, that would be huge for them to get that momentum, a little bit of momentum back to keep them only down 1 possession. And that's going to put it back on the 7-8 yard line here with a effort. And again, we see no kicking attempts. So, that doesn't seem like that's going to be in effect here for this one. That's going to be a run to the outside. And good pursuit there for the Bulls. He's going to be stopped short. And that was a good job for the Bulls. They will take that. They got to take some type of positivity from the defensive end here. The first 3 drives giving up touchdowns. Well, they were able to stop that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, Charlie Goldstein comes up and makes the hit to save 2 points for Branson to keep it a 1-possession game. And as we talked about before this game, we are expecting a lot of offense, and we've seen that so far. 5 scores on 5 drives for these two teams.
Yes, 128 points last week. So far, 36 this week, but we're barely into the second quarter, just a minute and 40 seconds into it. If you folks expected a quick, low-scoring game, you tuned in the wrong spot tonight because that's not what we're going to see here. This one might take quite some time. And I see a 70-point range for both sides, really. At the moment, the defense is just not putting up enough resistance to either offense. Both offenses completely different, though. That's what's really cool about this game. Like, awesome to watch for a fan's perspective or an analyst perspective. It's 2 completely different teams going up against each other, and they both do what they do very well. Kickoff out of bounds here. That'll be a legal procedure penalty. And for those of you at home who are watching the officials and say, hey, why do they call false start there? Well, I can tell you, folks, that's because in football, those 2 penalties always have the same gesture. It's always been that way. It's actually not a false start. It's a legal procedure. Now, let's see where they place the ball here. It's not going to be at midfield, but it might be at the 30. It's either at the 30 or 35-yard line. We'll have to see.
It's interesting because we have yet to see a kick go out of bounds. Traditionally, it's at the 40. And in this case, it'll go to the 35, I guess.
And the official.
Or 34?
It looks like it's on the 33. So, okay, we found out something new. Now we know what's going to happen. Give the official a mulligan there. He did point the illegal procedure in the wrong direction, but we knew exactly what was going on. First down on the 33. So the Bulls back at it now, down by 8. A touchdown and 2 here would tie it up. Run up the middle. Good job there for the Bulls. He breaks off a tackle to the outside. First down. He's down the sideline. He might take this one. He's got blockers up in front all the way down to the 16-yard line. Out of bounds. Wow, what a play there from the Bulls, and their offense is looking on point here. That was Kenyon Graham.
Explosive carry there by Graham. He got those legs moving in a hurry. Shows off his speed as he dashes down the right side. Ends up breaking a couple of tackles, and he just ran out of room there on the sideline, or that would have been a score.
Yeah, that was one of the best plays we've seen in this game, but offensively we've seen a lot of them, but that one there was just insanely good. A little screen pass here, that may be a touchdown. He's got a lot of room and blockers. Easy walk into the end zone there. Touchdown, Bulls, in just a couple of plays. And now I'm starting to wonder all of a sudden which one of these offenses is more dangerous, because right now it looks like both of them are danger in their own right. That was a great touchdown there.
Yeah, that was Goldstein who took the screen pass, as you mentioned, and once he cut back up the middle, a man in the secondary actually fell down and opened up that lane, and he was walking in with his his single finger up in the air like this is an easy one. Touchdown for Branson, a quick strike again.
Yes, 19 seconds they took off the clock there to score that touchdown, folks, and we see a lot of points here. 2-point conversion. Myers going to try and tie it up. He has a wide receiver open, and he's going to hit him in the back corner of the end zone. Good. Knotted up at 22. What a game we have here on hand, Nick.
And that's his big target again. That's Roach for the 2-pointer. When he needs a play in the end zone, he likes to find his big 6'3" receiver, and a good connection on the fade.
Well, while we have a tie game here at 22 and a break between the kickoffs, we're going to take a quick one. We'll be right back here on the NFHS Network. Welcome back here. 22-22 game, just 2 minutes into the second quarter, already 44 points. Paced for a lot of points here tonight. Either team could come out on top. We will not know until the end. Oh, it looks like he was going to take a knee on it. A little bit of trickery for Cornerstone here. Ooh, he runs over a tackle and goes to the sideline. Oh, my. How about that from Minor? He says, no, sir, you're going to go down to the ground. And they throw a flag here. We actually have two flags. One flag here for that hit, and then one flag back there in the backfield. The flag that's in the far end of the field likely is going to be a hold or an illegal block in the back on the kickoff team. The flag over here is going to be on Minor, I believe. So we've got a holding, and then we've got that decline, and then we've got a legal block in the back. And so that was nothing on Minor, even though it was thrown by him. They weren't calling him for lowering the shoulder at all there. That was a legal hit from him. And how about a pile drive? I mean, the quarterback, you run over the defender like that.
He just wiped out the man in front of him, and the whole stands in front of us. You can feel that collision. Like you said, they thought the penalty was on Minor too, but just a big-time collision there as Minor was able to carry forward, but they'll be backed up deep because of the penalty.
Yeah, that penalty is going to put them on the 4-yard line, so they accept the illegal block in the back because that was further backwards. Pitch to the outside to Broad, that's not going to get it done. Good pursuit there. Knocks him out of bounds. Only going to be about a 2-yard gain. That's Austin Grant, the defensive lineman, finding his way to the corner there to be able to stop Broad on the sideline. Hey, if I'm Broad and if I'm the play caller here, I don't know if I like him running on the outside. Let's leave that to Ebert. Let's give the ball up the middle to Broad or on the edges. But to the outside like that, that's not the method to success. As you saw, Broad, was tackled there for just a minimal gain. 2nd and 8. Going to be a run up the middle, nothing doing there, and all of a sudden, just for this specific past couple of minutes of reality here, the Bulls have the momentum. They got that quick touchdown, they're matching the output, and now you've got a 3rd down and long-ish situation to where, hey, you could have them punting out of the end zone because we know one thing, they won't go for this if they get to 4th down deep in their own territory.
Yeah, we haven't seen many 3rd down situations with a team this far backed up, so a critical play upcoming.
3rd and 6, going to be a run to Broad, and I don't think he's going to get it, and he's going to battle, but he will not. The pursuit for the defense is going to get him there, and that is not going to be close to a 1st down. They're going to give him maybe a yard and a half, and they're going to have to force a punt. The Branson Bulls get the job done there, led the way. Will McLeod, what a job.
Yeah, Broad was really just trying to keep his legs powering forward and sniff that 1st down, but he is brought down from behind as we'll have a 4th down situation upcoming.
Timeout here called from the Cougars, and while we have a timeout, we want to get to a little bit of an ad read here for you.
Join the conversation, fans. The NFHS Network is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, giving you access to the best in high school sports every week. Follow the NFHS Network on your favorite social media sites to keep up with all the high school action here on the NFHS Network. #WeAreHighSchool.
22-22 game, 8 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the first half, and unless they go for it, we're likely seeing a punting situation here. It's 4th and 3, 4th and 4. I'm sure they trust their offense to get this, but as you saw, even when you give it to the big guy Broad there, at the moment the Bulls are they're battling. They're not letting them get these extra yards. And we will see the punter back, so the Bulls are expecting a punt. Let's see. They're not going to get one. Minor's going to take it up the middle for a 1st down. He's going to fall down. He had all this open space in front of him, but you know what? He can't hold his head down too much because you go for a 4th down in your own inside your own 15-yard line and you get it, you're happy with that. Whether you get a touchdown or not, they'll take the 1st down right there, Nick.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by Branson's approach there. I mean, Minor is the quarterback, so there's always that chance that he's going to go for it, and the returner was about 35 yards off the line of scrimmage, so they definitely were expecting a punt. But with how deep in the backfield Minor was on that snap, it didn't really look like he ever thought about punting it.
Definitely not. I don't even think that was in the play call. It seemed like they were actually just going for it outright there, which seemingly, at home you might think that that's a crazy thing to do, but when you're doing so well offensively, you're having no problem getting positive yards on offense. There's only been a couple of plays where you didn't. You got to assume that, hey, you can get 3 yards, and that's exactly what they thought that they could do, and they did. We do see a false start penalty there, so that'll put them behind the 8 ball a little bit. 1st and 15. It's going to be a run from Minor to the outside. Breaks off a tackle, and he may go all the way here. He's got the sideline. He cuts back. Minor going down the sideline all the way to the 20-yard line. What a job here from Caden Minor. This young man is great.
He is doing it all, absolutely dusting, and he makes a nice shifty move there at the 25, and it looked like there's an opening for him to get all the way, but just slipped a little bit. That's back-to-back plays where he showed you that explosive speed, doing it all on his own here on this drive.
Yeah, he could have gone either way there. He could have stayed up the sideline, and I don't know. I thought that might have been his best bet. He could have outrun that guy to the corner, but instead he cut back up the middle, tried to get it in. Hey, he'll take a 40-yard gain any day of the week. Run up the middle of the broad and nothing doing there. So the Bulls front line really picking up the pace here. That's Grant in with the tackle right up front. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8 here. Into the red zone again for the Cougars. Have yet to be stopped offensively. But so far, neither have the Bulls. And if you want to say which team has played better defense, it's kind of hard to say, but I would say at the moment probably the Bulls. The Bulls have had a couple of chances on 4th downs, whereas if you're the Cougars, the Bulls have gone right through you in just a few plays every time. That might be a touchdown pass to Broad. It will be! What a pitch and catch there from Broad on a 2nd and 8. That's only the 2nd pass attempt we've seen thrown, and that's exactly why he was so wide open. Touchdown Cougars.
Yeah, and the sort of play action, if you want to call it, worked as Broad was all alone there. And at the end of that run, he shoved a stiff arm just for good measure and caps off that 18-yard reception. The big man in the end zone for the first time.
2-point conversion easily done from Minor right up the middle there. And I want to point out right after he got the touchdown, Broad went over to his quarterback Minor to, hey, great job, I'm happy. Let's do the little jump up where you bump fist and bump chest. Well, Broad and Minor, size-wise, no comparison. And Minor went falling down the other direction. I don't know if that's something he wanted to do necessarily.
Got to take care of your quarterback, right? Especially after he serves up a dime like that.
30-22 here. Still not even halfway into the second quarter. And at the moment, this is just back and forth. And even though I wasn't watching that other game prior, I mean, you see a 66-62 score in the box score. Seemingly, that was probably a very similar game. Not much resistance defensively, back and forth, and it really may come down to who has the ball at the end of the game at this point in time.
Yeah, and you got to love in watching this game, and not just an 8-man, but any of these smaller divisions, but the versatility of these players. And you see a guy like Minor playing quarterback, playing kick returner, playing punter, playing in on defense, and just really showing you the versatility and talents that these athletes have.
Kick return here. He has a hole to the outside, and he hits it. Gets to the corner. Nice tackle there to save anything further. But, hey, he'll take it all the way out to the 33-yard line. That's almost midfield in this 80-yard field.
Yeah, Luke George on the return sets his team up in good starting field position. Branson's been pretty good on special teams here tonight on their kick returns.
If you're the Cougars here, you've been playing great offensively, but defensively have shown no resistance at all so far. The 3 touchdowns for Branson were with a total of just 8 plays. So that's averaging just a few plays a drive. Actually, not even 3 plays a drive. So try to do something defensively. You've got the lead. You should be happy about that. Let's see if they can hold them to something here. And that's a good start for the Cougars defense. A bad start for the Bulls. Meyer misses his receiver. Had him wide open. There was Roach and had some room out in front.
Yeah, that's the first incompletion tonight for Meyer. Up until that point, he was 5 for 5, including 3 touchdowns, but just threw that one a little behind Roach, who was coming in on that route.
I'd like to see the Bulls mix in the run here. We've seen both runs that they've done were very successful. Same thing on the other one with the Cougars. Both of their passes were very successful. So, mix it up, throw the defense for a loop here. 2nd and 10. They think you're likely passing, and they will. Meyer's going to be pressured. He's going to get outside the pocket, throw it deep, and that's going to be overthrown. Almost, and it will be picked off. A one-handed interception over his shoulder. Whoa, how about that from Louis Shakahuzi?
What a standout primetime play there by the secondary, Shakahuzi, and he's able to snag that down with one hand. And we have our first turnover of the game, and we were talking about how magnified a defensive stop or turnover would be, and it is Cornerstone that comes up with the first big defensive play of the night.
And if you're Meyer, you wish you could have that one back. He was on the run to the sideline. Instead of throwing it down the field, you either throw it away or you run out of bounds. He did everything right on that play until the end. He was able to get out of the pocket, avoid the sack. He did, just like I said, everything right until the very last thing, which was throw the ball down the field. Bad pass led to the interception. Run up the middle for Miner, and he's going to be going for a house call. Miner says, nobody's stopping me today. Touchdown, Cougars.
66 yards for Miner, and one play after the interception, he takes it to the house for another touchdown, his fourth rushing touchdown of this game.
Miner is on fire, well over 100 yards, and we're not even through a quarter and a half yet. And that's just by himself. And that's the quarterback running, too. He's got a couple of he's got a couple of passes completed as well, so he's doing a little bit of everything out there. 2-point conversion pending here to make it a 16-point game, and all of a sudden, to the outside, easily done there for Miner. No pursuit for the Bulls defense, and that is a huge blow to the momentum if you're the Bulls. But you know, one thing that still positive on your side, lots of time left to go in this game. But moving forward, if you're the Bulls, you have to now match that one defensive stop that the Cougars just got.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough because we've seen how productive that run game is for the Cougars with Miner and Broad. And you got to think they're going to keep pounding the ball now with a 2-possession lead. So at some point, you're going to try to have to get a fist in there and knock loose a fumble or do something to stall one of these drives. Turnovers are going to be huge in this game going forward.
Definitely the defensive side is the most important right now, and while we've seen a lot of great offensive plays, any one of them you could say, hey, that is the play of the game. Right now, the Shukahuzi interception, the play of the game, a one-hander over his shoulder, and the defense, that's the first defensive stop we've seen so far through a quarter and a half, which we don't really expect to see too many more.
How impressive was that interception? And then just one play later, it's hard to remember how impressive that was.
Kickoff here. Let's see if they're going to say that's a touchback or an illegal procedure. That is super close. They call it a touchback, and they both call it that way. We'll give it to them on that. My naked eye looked like that. That went out of bounds around the 1-yard line, and that's a huge difference of yardage. 38-22 game here. 16-point lead for the Cougars. And if you are the Bulls, one thing that you must do here on this drive is score a touchdown. You have to go down and keep scoring as you've been. You cannot go down by any more than a couple of possessions in this game and expect to come back because the defensive stop is just so hard to get in these games. And it's not just because these two teams are so offensively prolific, but it's 8-man football. It's a little bit different. You're going to be winded. The defense is a lot more tired. There's less guys out there to make a tackle. There's less guys out there to defend passes. And so we see 3 wide here, or 2 wide. One in the backfield, going to be a pitch to the running back, and it's going to be a good one. A dangerous pitch there, though, from Meyer. He's still going up the sideline. He's still going. Oh, my goodness. What a play there. That play looked like it was dead. The officials did not blow the whistle. We seemingly thought the play was over, but all of a sudden we get an extra 10 yards past that.
Yeah, Graham does a nice job of taking that dog pile with him. It looked like there was 3 or 4 guys latched onto his legs, and he somehow popped out of that mass and picks up a few more. But how about the toss from Meyer? It was almost like a basketball chest pass as he had a man running at him and just kind of pushed it forward to Graham.
Yeah, that one there almost was intercepted for a touchdown. There was a defensive end right there, and he barely got it over that defensive end. That's why I said that play was so risky. But, hey, he got the job done. That's the second successful pitch we've seen him make. Now he's going to run it up the middle himself. I like that play on first down. He'll take 5 yards all day long on first down.
Yeah, Meyer picks up a few yards, snatched down from behind. That was Shear on the stop.
And that'll be 2nd and 5 here, right at their own 35-yard line. Clock in this half not yet a factor. Both teams with 2 timeouts. But if you're Branson, what you would like to do at some point is score the last time in this half, because even though you're down by 2 scores, you get the ball to start the third quarter. So if you're able to, let's say, make this the final drive of the half and get a touchdown, that would be very beneficial. However, with how fastly paced this game is, the 5 minutes and 40 seconds, that's not going to be one drive. That's at least a couple. And that's a great defensive stop there. We see a pass from Meyer, and that ball was knocked out of Meyer's hands, and by who else other than Cademan Minor.
Yeah, he's looking for his big target who had one-on-one coverage again, and that was Roach, and the ball just jarred loose at the last second to set up a third down. It's been rare for Branson to be even put in a third down situation with how quickly they've scored tonight. We'll see how they respond.
I think that they're kind of a little in shell shock at the moment with that turnover and touchdown. You know, their things are not where they want them to be at the moment, but 3rd and 5, if they get this first down and move the chains, they'll be just fine. They need to continue to do what they've been doing. Going to be 4 wide, so clearly a pass. We've got a penalty, pre-snap penalty, so likely a false start, and that could put them in a 3rd and 10 situation. Ooh, actually going to be an offsides penalty, so it was an encroachment. Jumped into the neutral zone and touched somebody. Otherwise, they would have let that play continue. So that is huge. And they're going to mark them about a half-yard short. We'll give it to them. You know, they're right on top of the yardage there, but that looked to be like it was just 5 yards there in between. But
yeah, I think it was Alvarez, the tackle, who kind of leaned forward and, like you said, may have made contact. He's asking the official, hey, did I try to get back, though, in time? But nonetheless.
Yeah, if you touch them, it stops. It doesn't matter how quickly you get back or not.
Yep.
3rd and a half yard. See, just one behind him here, but I expect a run. They do give it to him, and it's right up the middle of the Graham. Easy first down there. Even though you only had 3 guys blocking and you knew you were running, they were still able to get the first down. Now, that's one of those plays where I would have liked to see them go to a formation similar as the Cougars. Bring all your guys in the box. Everybody knows it's 3rd and a half yard. You're going to run the ball here. Bring yourself some more blockers in. Graham, super good running back. I mean, they've got a good guy there. We see a play that we had of his earlier in the game where he can match up right there with the running backs of the Cougars. So, you know, give him the rock a little bit more. I know you love the pass, and Meyer is a great quarterback, but I'd like to see them just pound the rock a little bit more because they're having success running the ball right now. Going to be a pass, has a receiver wide open, breaks off a tackle, shakes somebody on the sideline, first down. What a play there for the extra couple of yards to get the first down. What a job from Meyer to George there.
Yeah, a nice job of Meyer handling another low snap that nearly bounced on the ground. He's able to get a good grasp on it and fire a missile over to the left side, and George makes a nice play to turn that into a first down.
4.5 minutes left to go in the half, and now they updated the timeouts. Now there's 2 and 2 still. Two timeouts on each side.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. Getting back to that run formation out of the shotgun, if you bring that up or perhaps put another back in the backfield, you make the defense really have to decide.
Pass there. What a pass and catch. That might be a touchdown. He's going to be really close down to the 4-yard line. Meyer, again, finding his receiver. That's George Ginn right there. What a job. What a route run and a ball caught. George did that all on his own right there.
Yeah, nice job of reacting as that pass was a little bit high, and he snags that one down and stays on his feet and nearly shoved it into the end zone.
So the only thing the Bulls probably wish that they did different was take a little bit more clock here because clearly the Cougars are going to have more than enough time for another possession.
And that means Minor.
Yes,
more minor.
First to go on the 4. Bulls obviously got to get this touchdown here. We'd love the 2-point conversion as well. Bad snap. And Meyer is able to get past the original wave, but he's going to lose about a yard and a half there, and you could attest that to the bad snap. That's the 3rd one on this drive. Let's keep an eye on that.
Yeah, Branson's fortunate they haven't made a turnover on some of these low snaps. That one actually skipped into the turf, and Meyer was able to corral it and really turn what could have been a disaster into nothing for a no-yard gain.
You know what? The only positive they take from that is they actually ran a nice little bit of clock here, and they're going really slowly, and they're doing it for a reason. They want to leave as little time on the other end as possible for the Cougars. They wouldn't mind if they takes them a couple more plays to get in here. It's going to be a pitch to the outside, and it's not going to do the job. He's going to break off a couple of tackles, though, so give Graham credit. That could have been about a 6-7 yard loss, which would have put them really behind the 8 ball for the 3rd and goal situation. You got to have the pass. Now he gets back just about to the line of scrimmage there. How about that extra effort from Graham? on the stat sheet, it's a no-yard gain, and you don't think that's glamorous, but that was a really good play there from Graham to prevent losing a big yardage on that one.
Yeah, it really was, and exploding into the backfield to blow that up was Garcia for Cornerstone, and it could have been a big loss, as you mentioned. So although he wasn't able to come up with that tackle, give Garcia credit for crashing in on that toss.
And again, benefits the Bulls in the sense that they were able to take the full play clock off, which they did. They huddled up, so now they're down all the way to 2 minutes, 3rd and goal on the 6. So, that might be a false start. They both moved at the same time. That's tough. I wouldn't want to be the official. They're going to call the false start. That's the easiest one to call. But that was super close where both of those guys jumped it right around the same time.
Yeah, and it was Garcia again from his linebacker spot, able to draw that flinch from the tackle.
And one thing,
push them back 5.
One thing for sure here, this is 4-down territory. You're not kicking field goals in this game, even if that was an option, which we haven't seen anything like that yet as far as kicking goes. But 3rd and goal on the 10, knowing you have 2 plays, that opens up the playbook here. You don't have to go to the end zone. You could even run the ball here. We're actually going to get I think they're going to fix the clock. They had the clock start, and I don't think the clock was supposed to start. So they're going to, they're pointing about that right now.
Yeah, Cornerstone staff was trying to draw their attention. They don't like something.
Yep, they're telling them what they want on the board. A fan actually is relaying to our clock operator up here. Good teamwork here between official to fan to clock operator.
How often do you see that?
Hey, you got to get things done when you're in a small area, such as this area, Rio Vista here, and these got 2 traveling teams from the nearby area.
Yeah, we've got, we'll tell you where they're from at halftime. How about that?
That works. There's going to be a pitch and catch, and it's not going to get the job done. Great job there from the Cougars. He's going to gain a yard, maybe 2 there, and it's going to bring up 4th down. And I think they sent out a field goal kicker. Not quite sure. Somebody did come out onto the field. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, but again, that benefits them clockwise, so the only thing that doesn't benefit them is if they don't score here. This is huge. If the Cougars stop them, it's going to be a very difficult uphill treading for the Bulls moving forward in this game. But if you're the Bulls and you get in here, you've manipulated that clock so well now that you're going to get 2 possessions in a row if you score. So if you score right here on this play, that is huge. So this is a really, really big play in this game. I think they may call a timeout, but I was assuming.
Either that or they're going to call a delay game. I was going to say they were slow to get out of the huddle, and a crucial penalty.
Right, and you've got 3 timeouts in your back pocket, so you begin to wonder why you didn't use one. I thought that's what they were doing, going to let the play clock call down and go to decide what 4th down play they wanted to run.
Yeah,
so
Meyer was real casual getting out of that play, and I thought he might just go up there and call a timeout, and maybe the coach is asking, saying, hey, didn't I call a timeout? As he's trying to get the officials' attention, but
I was thinking the same thing. They are actually going to have a discussion about it here, and they will give them the timeout, it's looking like. They will. So I don't know. We'll have to see if they still count that penalty or not, but they are giving them a timeout one way or another.
Yeah, it looks like they may have actually marked them back 5 yards, judging by the spot. But
so they did. So it'll be 4th and goal on the 14-yard line. And you took the clock all the way down to 106. 106 is still a lot of time with 1 timeout for Minor to be able to get down the field. What I'm beginning to wonder here is if the kicking game is out there as an option, you get the ball to start the second half. If you can assume you can hold them for 1 minute, then it may actually be the right move to kick the field goal here, make it 13 points. Then you can come out the locker room and get 8 real quick, and all of a sudden it's a 5-point game. A field goal is a lot easier to get than a 4th and 14 situation, so we'll have to see what they decide, what Coach Max Pond wrote up here during that timeout. And we are not getting anything looking like a field goal here. This is too wide to the left, and this is going to be going forward on 4th and goal from the 14. Huge play here in this game. Meyer steps up in the pocket, has a receiver, thrown, incomplete. And Meyer said once he stepped up into the pocket, I wonder if he might have been able to run for that 1st down, but instead he tries to make the pass, and a great job from the defender there. Turnover on downs. And now through the Cougars, you could go for the knockout blow, but being that you're on your own 10-yard line, they may play conservative here and just be happy with the 16-point lead, because right now that's a really big lead in this type of situation for them.
Yeah, one thing they're likely to keep it on the ground is Minor and Broad have really been so impressive. But going back to that fourth down play, Meyer wanted his one-on-one coverage with Roach to his left, and that's where he was looking initially, but it was good coverage, and he had to force that one to the other side to Hoffman, who we've yet to see targeted.
First down play there. Minor's going to run it and go out of bounds. They stopped the clock a couple seconds shorter, longer than they needed to, but that only took 4 seconds off the clock, and they got 12 yards at it. Again, we don't know what type of kicking situation we're like with the field goal kickers or anything like that, but seemingly not much time to go down and get a touchdown. But you never know. If Minor breaks one of these, we'll see. He's done it a couple of times already. Run up the middle there, going to be stopped, and I kind of at this point expect them to kind of just lay back on the clock. We're going to get a timeout. They're going to call the timeout themselves. Hey, you can't take them into the locker room with you, and that goes against what I just said about them laying back on it. They're going to call a timeout and try to get themselves a few more plays.
Hey, they know that Branson, is going to get the ball first to start next half, so he, perhaps Coach has that in the back of his head, but we have seen Minor willing to throw a couple times tonight, and he, of course, had that touchdown on the last possession to Broad, so maybe he'll try to hit his big man and get a chunk play here as we're under a minute to go in this first half.
Hey, they would love to get more points on the board. I mean, this is the championship game. You got to leave it all out there on the field, and yes, they're up 16 points, but we've seen the Bulls have no problem scoring points. So in that regard, 16-point lead isn't safe in that sense. I'm sure the Bulls are going to score more than 16 points in this game. However, if you're the Bulls, you haven't been able to stop them at all on defense. As mentioned earlier, that one defensive stop that either team was looking for, it was got by the Cornerstone Cougars with a huge interception. And that, at this point, is the turning point of this game. And we'll have they're out of timeout, 2nd and 6 on their side of the field. So if they don't get a big chunk soon, might not be going for much. They're almost out to midfield there. There's going to be a first down and going to get him out of bounds. So that's a good play there for Minor, good heads-up play. They're almost out to midfield. Still have 42 more yards to go with no timeouts and 39 seconds. So, again, I will say this. If they can find a way to score some points in this situation, it's almost going to be seemingly an uphill battle that's going to be hard to win at all for the Bulls. If you give up more points right now, when are you going to stop them, I guess, would be the question.
Yeah, and it's really, again, it's tough to force turnovers on a run-heavy team like this, as long as they're able to hold on the ball.
Minor going deep, does not make a good throw there, short of his receiver. Good job for the Bulls on the coverage. And that pass there, you could see immediately why Minor and the Cougars enjoy the run preferably over the pass. We've seen a couple of good throws there from Minor in this game, but those were both play actions, and those were both with wide open receivers. There was a little bit of an open field. It was the first real chance for us to see what he has, with a deep ball down the field, and, came up short on that one. So maybe Minor has a small leak, but, hey, this young man out here lighting it up, quite clearly, the player of the game at this point in time.
No doubt about it. He was looking for Zuckerman there, but just a bit underthrown.
2nd and 10, going to be a pitch backwards to Ebert, and they're going to get a holding penalty in the backfield. Ebert's going to look to throw it, and he's going to get nailed in the backfield. Good job for the Bulls. They're getting the job done on the defensive end here for this final possession of the half. If only they had scored that last touchdown, they would be in a really golden spot. They're going to be kicking themselves going into the locker room. Had 1st and goal on the 5-yard line and were unable to get in. That was actually the second stop of the game made by the Cougars. And now, we're going to get that holding penalty declined, which, clearly on the sack situation, well, technically that's a sack, but weird play call there from the Cougars, and it didn't work out in their favor. They're looking to throw the ball down the field, and instead they end up gathering a holding penalty and a 6-yard loss all at once. So,
how about the hit, though, by Ray Kwai, bringing the wood, just smashing the quarterback there, or actually on the pitch, that was Ebert.
And we will get a timeout called, looks like from Branson here. They were the only ones with a timeout left with 13 seconds left. And I believe that timeout wasn't called to try to get the ball back with a punt. I think that timeout was called because the Cougars were rushing up to the line there really quickly out of their huddle, and I don't think Coach Pond liked the defense that he saw, and he knows one thing. The last thing that we could do here is allow some crazy touchdown play. We've seen some long touchdowns before. It wouldn't be unheard of, and you're already down by 16 points. You get the ball to start the second half, and if you can go down and score a touchdown and 2, you're only down by 8 points. You're still just one defensive stop away from knotting the game up. So got to get this stop here. Had a couple of good defensive plays here, this last 2 plays for the Bulls. Just want to finish off this last 13 seconds here and keep it at a 16-point deficit.
Yeah, you can't really fall behind by 3 scores against a team like Cornerstone, who's just so dominant with the run game, likes to churn up clock. And really, we haven't seen them show any inclination of fumbling or any botched snaps. They're a really sound, technical running team. So, yeah, you definitely can't fall behind by 3 scores to the number 1 seed in the section.
And there's going to be no kneeling or anything like that. They are going to push forward and try for a big play, and going to be a false start at the line of scrimmage. Didn't see that one, but one of those guys did jump a little early, and that's going to put them a little further back, make it 3rd and 23. And with that, I wonder now if Coach just says, hey, let's just take a knee on it, They're so explosive, they may not. They may just see if they can get a hole up the middle with Minor, which we've seen a couple of times already, where he just takes it through to the house. Nobody behind him. So we'll see what they do here. 1 timeout left for Branson, and they actually added some time to the clock here to 21 seconds. 23 seconds.
We have the crowd relaying the directions from the officials again. Another flag comes in late on that carry.
Minor to the outside, going to run out of bounds, not get much yardage to gain there. And also, as you mentioned, a flag in the backfield.
Game turning sloppy here in this last minute.
Yes, definitely. I think that I'm sure they're going to decline this penalty and force the punt, and they still have 1 timeout. We've seen them get a touchdown on 1 play with a touchdown pass deep down the field earlier in this game. You never know what could happen in 19 seconds, so you're going to set up a punting situation here. And this time, we're not going to see a fake. It's 4th and about 18 yards. We don't see any punter, but I'm assuming that Minor is just going to pooch it. No, now we see.
Oh! He slapped the ball as Minor was coming up to tell his center something, and he snapped it.
Oh, no, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. We're going to get a penalty. They're going to get a false start. How lucky is that there for the Cougars? Instead of them getting the ball right there on the 30-yard line, they're going to still get a punting situation. So that was interesting, and Minor is super angry at the sideline, too. He said something to his coach over there, and you see him be a little demonstrative. But that's going to turn into a punting situation, but they've moved really far back. And if you're the Bulls, take a little solace in this drive here. You did pretty good on the defensive side. You moved them back 20 yards. It's 4th and 23 here. Need good punt. If you're the Cougars, it's blocked. That's the last thing that they needed was a blocked punt. And we've got 14 seconds and still 1 timeout. So all of a sudden, the Branson Bulls are not necessarily in the worst spot in the world. If they can find a way to get into the end zone here in the next 2 or 3 plays, depending on how long they can do in 14 seconds. They got 2 for sure. If they can get into the end zone here, what a momentum shift that would be.
Talk about mismanaging the last minute of a game when you're up by 2 scores deep in your own territory. You mentioned perhaps Cornerstone might just cluck it out, and instead they turned the ball over with a couple of chances here for Branson.
23-yard line. Bad snap, but he fields it. Steps to the outside. He's running a lot of the clock here. Throws it deep to the end zone, incomplete, and that was the last thing that you wanted to see if you were the Bulls. That took 8 seconds, so it left it to where there's only 1 play left. If they had been quick and maybe gone to the sideline or gone a quick throw to the end zone, you could have had 3 chances here. I don't know, maybe try for a field goal. It's a 41-yarder at this point. They're going to call their last timeout, I think. No, maybe not. Huddling up here. Wouldn't be shocked to see them use their last timeout. You can't take it into the locker room with you. And with 6 seconds left, just enough time for 1 play. No timeout yet. And if you are the Cougars, I personally wouldn't really rush anybody. I would send all those guys right back to the end zone and kind of play a prevent style. We see a couple of them doing it, but that's not it. Better snap here. Meyer rolls out, throws it away. He's going to leave himself 1 second. Oh, now the clock goes to 0.
And a late flag.
The clock operator gave them an extra second there. So let's see what the flag is, though.
I think they might call him for grounding. That ball got nowhere near the line of scrimmage. He just kind of threw it into the ground.
Very likely. He might have been outside of the pocket. That was what I was wondering. We'll have to see what they call.
So they don't tell us what the flag was, but they say that's half.
They're just going to take it to the half and see it. None of those guys were looking at the clock up here, but the clock was with the ball when that hit the ground. That should have been 1 second. And for that Bulls team, that 1 second is huge because we know Meyer could throw the ball to the end zone. Could have been an opportunity for a touchdown there. So we don't see any fight. I don't think any of them down there noticed that. They're in the middle of a game. We're up here. I was just looking at the clock. I happened to see that. Unfortunately for the Bulls, that's going to be the halftime break. And if you're the Cougars, the number 1 seed here, you are looking good, up 38-22 here on the NFHS network. We will be back here with a little bit of halftime recap. Good. Welcome back here to the NFHS Network, our halftime show here. Got about 5 minutes here till the second half. It's 38-22. The Cougars out in top. Nick, let's go. Let's break down that first half. We saw a lot of offense.
Yeah, we certainly did. I mean, the first quarter, 30 points combined, and both teams scoring a couple touchdowns, but really it was Cornerstone there in that second half that was able to outscore Branson 22-8, make this a two-possession game. Despite that kind of error-filled last minute of the game, they were able to head in after that block punt and still have that two-possession lead. And as we've been mentioning all night, in this 8-man team that's high offensive, powered teams, two-possession lead is playing huge.
Yeah, definitely up by 16 is a good spot for the Cougars in that last 8 minutes of the second quarter, combined with the interception and then the quick touchdown on the very next play, and then also the end of the half where they were able to stop Branson on a 4th and goal situation. It was first and goal on the 5, and they went backwards there, did Branson, and those two defensive stops were so huge. But I will say for the Branson Bulls, if I were them, my key to moving into the second half is to continue to play offensively the way you had been playing. The game is not over. They showed at the end of the second half they also could play a little bit of defense, and they've had a couple times earlier in the first half as well with 4th down situations where they could have gotten stops. Moving forward in this game, they have to make those happen. So keys to the game for them to finish out here is they need to play some better defense. They need to get a defensive stop or two. And if you're the Cougars, manage the game. Manage the football game. You were 2 quarters away from the Open Division state championship here. Cornerstone Cougars up by 16 points at halftime. They're that close to it.
Secure the ball. I mean, that's really what the Cougars need to do, playing with the lead. And we've been talking about their 3-headed running attack and really just secure that ball. Conditions actually haven't turned too wet tonight. There was a chance of rain, but as we look up, I mean, it's clear skies, so just hang on to that ball. But really, this is the most critical possession of the season coming up for Branson here, as they really need to score to get back in this game.
Getting ready to start the second half here, and folks at home, that may have been an announcer jinx from Nick. I feel like that we might still get some rain here tonight. It was on the forecast, so we will have to see. Hopefully it doesn't show up, for the sake of the players down there in the field. But you never know. I mean, it is chilly enough for rain.
It's definitely cold.
Yeah.
Everybody's down here with blankets in the stands and beanies, and the winter gear is finally out in Northern California.
As we mentioned, Branson will receive the opening kick, and it's going to stop short. He's going to have to field it there, and he's going to go down. So what a kickoff there from Miner. He couldn't have done it any better. It just dies right there, and they were going to let it go for a touchback. Instead, they're going to start on their own 12-yard line.
Wow, it looked like he put a little bit of English on that one as it took a hop back away from the returner, and that could have been a disaster for Branson. Nice job of falling on that one by George. Tricky hop.
Wow, it's so cold out here. One of the coaches is wearing a towel around his waist. For a second, I had to do a double take. Was wondering, hey, is that a kilt? 1st and 10, a long field ahead of them. But if you're the Bulls, your offense has had no problem going down the field with big plays. So that shouldn't be too daunting to them. And the miscue there, hands off to the running back, and it was not the direction he was looking to go, and he's going to lose 2 yards. And you see the coaches over here quite happy for the Cougars, but frankly, the defense didn't have much hard work to do there. That was just a miscue in the backfield, and once the miscue happened, that play was doomed.
Yeah, Lorenzo Alvarez will get credited with that tackle for a loss, but like you said, it was the confusion in the backfield that led to it, but I'm pretty sure he'll take that stat anyways.
Yes.
Tackle for a loss for Alvarez.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many of them in this game, so I'm sure he'll be happy with that. That's going to put them back here, 2nd and 12. Bad down and distance situation, but they have no problem getting that big play. They need one right now. Ball's tipped at the line. 3rd and 12. Very good play right there from Matthew Broad. As you see, he does a little bit of both. He runs on offense and he comes on defense and uses his big mitts to knock that one down.
Yeah, he, of course, has a receiving touchdown earlier. He also had a sack defensively and now a tipped ball there, so making his presence felt on both sides.
3rd and 12, and if you're the Bulls, this is a disaster waiting to happen. If you don't get a good gain here, you may have to punt it and give them a short field. That's the last thing that you would want to do in this spot if you're trying to come back and win this game. I wouldn't call this 4-down territory yet, but that means that this play is that much more important. 3rd and 12 He's got some time to throw, steps up in the pocket. He's going to run it. Might have the edge. Ooh, what about a late hit? Not going to get it. And he's going to be well short of the first down. That was tough. The official was right there in front of him, so we'll give him credit for that. But it did look like he might have gotten a little shove out of bounds there.
Yeah, a little bit surprised you didn't see that flag come shoving out by the side judge as he was hit as he was falling out of bounds. But a nice job there by the Cougars to hold strong on 3rd and long. And you would have to assume, well, it looks like the punting team is on for the first time.
Punting formation here, just because they're so deep in their own territory. The issue is you're not stopping them on defense is my concern. So let's see if they actually do punt. They do. Not a bad punt there. I mean, they'll be happy with that. They're going to get a good bounce as well. So in that regard, I mean, I guess that's not the worst case scenario right there for the Branson Bulls, but they did not want to go 3 and out at all. That's now the 3rd defensive stop in as many possessions for the Cougars. So the Bulls scored touchdowns their first 3 times. Their last 3, it's gone interception, turnover, downs, and punt. And that is not a recipe to beat a team like the Cougars with Minor and Broad and Ebert in the backfield just doing a little bit of everything for you. Now you're in a situation where you can go down by 3 scores, so you now need a defensive stop more so than anything.
Minor, and he wants to extend this
Fumble.
lead. Oh.
Ball's dropped by Minor. He's going to get to the outside, but he's going to lose quite a bit. He's still going backwards, and he's going to run backwards some more. Finally uses his noggin and says, I'm just going to step out of bounds, but not before he went backwards 2 separate times on that play. He's going to lose about 11 yards, and hey, if you're the Bulls, you got to get lucky right a little bit sometimes on the defensive end. The snap was bobbled, and all of a sudden that puts him in a 2nd and a mile. And I will say this, if the Bulls do not stop him on these next couple of plays and get the ball back, likely not going to be able to do much moving forward. This is your chance here to get that defensive stop. Unfortunately, you're still down by 16, but hey, you can only score one time, one touchdown at a time, so got to get the ball back right now. Got to prevent them from getting some long gains. And they do just that. A 2-yard loss there for Minor, and all of a sudden, the defensive front for the Bulls is winning. And Coach Pond is super stoked on the sideline. That's going to bring up 3rd and a mile and likely probably a punt coming up here on the next play.
Thomas Treadwell, the senior, making the play there for the Bulls. 2 back-to-back negative plays for the Cougars. We really haven't seen that all night other than that last-minute drive full of penalties. So perhaps the Bulls playing with a little bit of momentum defensively.
Yes,
see if they can stand strong here.
2 drives in a row that they've stopped them. Well, if they don't get the 21 here. Going to be a pass. Intercepted, and that might be a house call. Good job for the Cougars there to stop them. On the side, that we're going to get a late hit out of bounds as well. Interception there for Charlie Goldstein. Wow, play of the game there for the Bulls, and now we've got a brand new ball game.
He came flying out of the backfield, read Minor's eyes. Minor was under pressure and perhaps was better suited to just take a sack there, as it was 3rd and a mile, and the Bulls are able to force a turnover.
They picked up the flag, so they discussed it over here and decided that wasn't a late hit out of bounds, and I actually like that job from the officials there. Usually a rare occasion I'm commending high school officials, but right now tonight they're doing a stand-up job, and that play there, they discussed it. They realized that wasn't really a late hit. I wish they would have done some more discussion on the late hit we saw a few plays ago, but that time I think they got it right. That's going to be a 1st and goal on the 6-yard line here for Meyer. He's going to run to the outside, has a receiver, throws it. Oh, and it's tipped away. What a play there from Ebert. How about that?
Meyer trying to avoid the pressure. He had 2 Cougars pouncing in on him, and he lofts it up to the end zone, and it was Ebert able to knock it away and save a touchdown.
That's 2 times they've saved the touchdown there on that interception by Goldstein. I want to mention, I didn't get the 2 players, but a couple of players from the Cougars were able to come to the sideline there and not let Goldstein get into the end zone. And if they somehow come up and stop him here, that's how important is that to never give up on a play after that interception, where it looked like when Goldstein caught it in full sprint ahead, it was going to be an easy touchdown. They were able to stop him. Bulls got 3 more chances here to get 7 yards. Meyer finds the receiver. He's wide open there. Oh, he drops it. That would have been a touchdown, and that ball is dropped, and it's now 3rd and goal on the 7-yard line. 2 more plays, and if you're Coach Pond and if you're the Branson Bulls, it's time to get a little nervous here. You know, after the first couple of chances, you didn't get anything moving forward. You know, it's 4 down territory. You might see a run here. I mean, I would have loved to see them give the ball to Graham on 1st and 2nd down. You're likely going to get some positive yards to gain, maybe just walk right into the end zone.
Yeah, we haven't seen Graham yet on this drive, but what a brutal drop right there for the Bulls. That was Roach, the big target, who we've already seen in the end zone twice tonight, had a chance to get his 3rd.
Probably going to go back to him right here, I think. They will. Same type of play. Throws it up, and Roach is able to bring it down in the end zone. Oh, my, what a play there from Roach. That is a big boy. I was following him from the shot there. I had a feeling they were going to give him the ball back. You usually give your receiver another chance after he drops one, and that one there was 10 times harder of a catch. He had a receiver all over him, and he used his size, as you mentioned, to drape over the receiver and just pull that ball up and caught it kind of above his head almost. What a touchdown there for the Bulls, and we, folks, have an exciting championship game here. The Bulls come out of the locker room, get an interception and a quick touchdown. And heck, the Cougars also played defense the first drive of this half too. So we're getting a brand new stuff to this football game we hadn't seen in the first half, and frankly, we weren't expecting. So now, 2-point conversion to make it a 1-score game. Meyer's going to try and run it. He's going to be stuffed there. Pile drove into the ground. The Cougars are lucky on that regard. They don't get a penalty for that, which would have given them an extra chance. But, hey, that is a huge stop there for the Cougars. That leaves it at a 10-point game. A big miss on that 2-point conversion. The second one we've seen the Bulls miss here so far makes it a 38-28 game here just a couple of minutes in to the third quarter. While we have a quick break, I'm going to get to an ad read here for you.
If you want to watch more of your school's great events, like the game you're enjoying here today, then tell your school to sign up for the NFHS Network School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to nfhsnetwork.com/SBP.
Kickoff here for the Bulls on the scoreboard here first in the second half. Line drive kick fielded by Miner. Takes a look at the field, sees where he wants to go. Cuts it to the outside. Going to get an illegal block in the back of there. 2 flags thrown and not a very good return as well. And that's going to set him further back behind the 8 ball. And a little bit shocked here so far at this start to the second half for the Cougars offensively. Seemingly, lost their mojo a little bit. And if you're the Bulls, if you could just find another stop in you and another score, this is a brand new ball game.
Yeah, and you mentioned Roach's reception, able to drape over. It was actually Miner was a defender. Great individual effort there, but how about the throw made by Meyer? He got absolutely crushed on that throw. He stayed in. He's not too tall, so, he took a hit. He's got a smaller frame, and he's able to just give his receiver a chance. Just a fantastic connection there on that big 3rd down.
Yeah, it could have been a 4th down play if he didn't get it. And here is a pitch out there to Broad, and nothing doing for Broad. He gets actually maybe they'll give him a yard and a half, but how about that tackle there from Collett?
A nice job by the Bulls on 1st down, not falling for that pitch play. We've seen Broad do a lot of damage between the tackles, but not that time.
Yes, so far in the second half, we see a brand new defense here for the Bulls. Their defensive coordinator likely came in there and lit them up at halftime, let them know that we need to make some stops. Miner up the middle, and that's not going to get it done either. That's only going to be about a 1-yard gain. And all of a sudden, the Bulls are seemingly really getting the job done on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and one thing we've mentioned the difference in roster size. Perhaps, at halftime, the Bulls said we got to start rotating some guys in on defense. We have a bigger roster, and, so far they've come out with more energy defensively to start the second half.
That must be it, Nick. I have to agree with you here. They're probably doing just that. 3rd down play, and they're not going to get the stop there. The Cougars are able to break free and get the 1st down. Not by much. They needed 5. They got 6. Good tackle there made, but that's going to be a first down for the Cougars, and we have an injured Bulls player down, and he's going to go down there. It's going to be a first down play up around the 30-yard line, and that was a big first down there for the Cougars because we haven't seen them doing much on offense in the second half, and if they had gone 3 and out right there, it would have been a really good spot for the Bulls.
Yeah, it was a chance to make a big play. That was Jack Dunning who came up for Branson, and the linebacker had an opportunity to make that foot tackle on Minor, but he whiffed, and Minor turns it into a first down.
Yeah, you begin to wonder if he had made that tackle, if we would have seen another fourth down attempt. We've seen them have go for it the both times that they've had the opportunity to do so, other than at the end of the half, first half, but the other opportunities, they went for it. And they may have done the same thing there. See, we get the player here for the Bulls.
Looks like Josh Batier was the man down for the Bulls as he looks like he's helped off by his coach.
Yes, we hope that young man is okay, and we'll hope to see him back out here in this game. I know championship game, nobody wants to leave this one, so it's going to be a first down play. 8 minutes left to go in the third quarter. 10-point lead for the Cougars, still in a comfortable position. They've got the ball up 10, but they have to continue to keep scoring to get back to that bread and butter that they had. It's going to be a pass play here, thrown up, has the receiver out there, and it's caught! He's going to get out of bounds all the way down to the 14-yard line. That is Dominic Zuckerman there with the reception. Haven't called his name too often here today.
Yeah, pretty throw by Minor on first down. Everybody expecting a run, and instead the Cougars go play action for one of their farthest attempts tonight, and he connects with Zuckerman down the left side.
They mark it at the 22, and unless my eyes were fooling me, it looked like he was down to the 12 or the 13 there, so possibly a penalty happened after the end of the play. Moves him back 10 yards. Either way, it's going to be a first down.
The longest completion of the night for Minor.
Run up the middle for Minor to the outside. Touchdown, Cougars. Nobody there to resist the Minor run to the outside, and he has just been on point all game long.
That may have been his longest completion, but he says, hey, don't forget about what I can do on the ground.
We've got a flag down. It's really hard to see. Those flags are not super yellow out there tonight, Nick, and I think that might be a holding penalty, and it's going to take it back. It is. So how about that? Instead of what would have been a touchdown for Minor, we get a holding penalty. So another miscue here for the Cougars. And because of the spot of the ball with that holding penalty, they're actually going to gain 2 yards on that play. So it's going to be 1st and 8.
6 penalties now tonight on Cornerstone. Really one of the only things they've done wrong tonight.
It's going to be the similar play. Now it's going to be broad to the outside. Good job for the Bulls. They take that hit without a problem. I like to see that from the Bulls. That was Kenyon Graham there saying, hey, I know I'm going to get hit hard, but that's okay. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to make the play. Still a positive 4-yard gain there. It's going to be 2nd and 4 for the Cougars. And a much quicker pace here to this second half. Already almost to the halfway marker of the third quarter. Cougars are slowing it down a bit, realizing that the clock is their friend. You got the lead in the ball. It's not a problem to take some clock. Oh, it might be a loss here for Broad. And they will. The ball's loose. The ball is loose. And it's recovered. And they're going to blow that play dead. And the Bulls have the ball in their hand. Oh, my. That one pains me to see that as a football fan and an analyst up here. They blew that play dead, which did not seemingly be – that wasn't seemingly the right call there.
No, that was Dunning who came in again to try to make a stop, and this time he was able to. And then as the other Bulls players came in, they ripped that ball loose, but they said the whistle was blown.
Broad looked like he was still moving forward, so that's very tough for them. And run to the outside. They got a chance, and they missed him. And he hits the corner, and he's in for the touchdown. Oh, my. Minor was able to squeak up the corner of that sideline and get into the end zone on a 3rd and 4, give him a 17-yard touchdown run. Another touchdown there for Minor. And, wow, that is the absolute huge momentum blow there for the Bulls. It seemed like they had recovered a fumble, but the play was whistled dead. And even if it wasn't, of course, at the high school realm, there's no instant replay. So once they called that on the field, that's what it was going to be. 2-point conversion attempt should be good. Looks like it is. No, they're saying he stopped short. That's tough to see there. Oh, okay, there's Minor down. Looks like he's down at about the inch-yard line. So the Bulls can take a tiny bit of solace out of that. 44-28 lead here for the Cougars, middle of the third quarter on the NFHS Network. Welcome back here. Another touchdown on the board for the Cougars, but a missed two-point conversion, and it leaves it at a 16-point game. But we've seen two missed two-point conversions here in this half, one by each side. And those 2 points could come back to bite them later on in this game because it's a 16-point game. That it's still a two-score game either way. If you're the Bulls, you got to be happy with the way you're playing the second half. You've already first one turnover, almost had yourselves another one there. That ball is going to be a touchback there. Rolls in. Good kickoff there for Minor. We've seen him kicking the ball really well. I would not be shocked to see if they needed him to kick a field goal or an extra point to let him have that opportunity. We did get official confirmation since we have goalposts that are at different lengths that if there were some kicking to be happening, that we'd have to flip the field just for the kick and move it down to this side. That being said, I have a strong feeling.
Doesn't seem likely, huh?
I have a strong feeling that both coaches also probably, instead of doing that, would rather not have to switch the sides of the field just for a kick. I don't think that's going to happen unless it's like the final play of the game. We may see, but as of now, I don't think so. Bulls for another possession. They've got two wide and a lot of room given to Roach out. They're going to be a run up the middle. He's got a huge hole. That might be a house call to the sideline. See you later. Touchdown Bulls. Graham with the good job there. He is having himself a great game so far. That's the third or fourth run we've seen Graham just light it up, and he takes that one all the way for a house call on the first play from scrimmage there.
The Bulls with that quick strike capability, we've seen them do it a couple times tonight, but how about a one-play drive, 65-yard carry? Graham turns on the Jets, left the last defender at the 20 in the dust, and slows down for the beautiful touchdown all alone.
Yeah, Graham, he's got size to him as well, so it makes it even that better to see him running so fast. He's doing such a good job, but once he got out into the open field there, he really did all of that himself with great field vision. Graham knew exactly what angle he wanted to take that whole part of that run and was able to get into the end zone with ease. 2-point conversion attempt. It's going to be stopped short. They throw it out there, and they were unable to get it in there. They got it to their big guy, but he was stopped short, and that is huge missed 2-point conversion. We've seen three misses from Branson in the game, 2-point conversion, and we've seen three misses in this half from all sides. All the 2-point conversions are missing right now.
Yeah, and that keeps it a two-possession game, so you're absolutely right there, Dustin. I mean, that's a critical miss, as you could have kept it as a one-possession game, but talk about a response and not wasting any time. Graham putting his team on his back as he just burst through that hole on the right side. 65 long yards.
If you're Coach Pond, you have to be happy with the way your boys are playing. This Cornerstone team is good. They haven't lost in 19 games. They're undefeated. You've lost one this year. They're the number one team. Give them all the credit in the world for making this what seemed like, as of this point right now, is going to be a close game throughout the rest of the way, where it could have been a blowout without a problem. We were looking at a situation right before the end of the first half where this could have been a 3-score game. All of a sudden, it's just a 10-point game, and the Cougars, after that kickoff return out to the 25-yard line, minus that last drive, even with that last drive, so far, the Bulls in this half have been playing really good defense. Yes, they did give up a touchdown, but they almost forced a turnover right before that touchdown. Already have an interception in this half. They have to be super excited with the way they're playing defense right now.
Yeah, and, we'll have to see if they can kind of keep Minor from the big explosion plays. Just as soon as you think you have him wrapped up, that's when he finds a hole and knifes through, just like that last drive where you wipe one off the board with the holding penalty. You think you're looking good, and then one play later, he takes it to the house. So you got to keep your eyes on number 20.
Minor here to the outside. He might lose some yards. He cuts back, has blockers out in front. Definitely not losing yards here. Minor fighting up the sideline, breaking off some tackles, give him an extra 5 yards at the end of that run. I don't know what my favorite part of that run was. A little bit of everything. Right now, Minor is just doing everything right, but he comes up hobbling a little bit right here after the end of that play. And oh my, let's keep an eye on that. It's not much of a hobble, but that could play a huge factor moving forward.
He's not only elusive, as you've seen him switch direction there deep in the backfield, what could have been a loss, but he gets back up to speed so fast, and he does not go down at the end as he pulls it out for another 5 or 6 yards as he fell forward.
If you're the Bulls, though, you just got to keep stemming the tide. You know what you're seeing in front of you. Now, this is a good play design there from the Cougars. Good tackle, though. Give him 6 yards. So it's a good first down play, but they will take the good tackle there from Ray Kwai.
Nice hit by Kwai. Came up and leveled the ball carrier, hit backwards. Haven't seen a ton of big hits here tonight with the 8-on-8 and the speed of this game and, the open running lanes we've seen. But that was one of the better hits we've seen.
Well, we were just about right about the point totals, though. 66-62 was the last time out. It looks seemingly like both teams might eclipse that here in this one. We'll have to see how it progresses. A run to Broad, up the middle. Good job from the Bulls. Defense are going to stop him short. Broad was able to carry it an extra yard or two, though, and that's key because now it brings up a 3rd and 1 or a 3rd and 2, and if you're the Bulls, there's not really much you can call here to stop this. You got to hope that you just get him in the backfield like you kind of did there, but even when you do get Broad in the backfield, he's able to use his strength to carry the pile for a couple yards forward.
Good job by Grant there of getting to Broad early just to be able to slow him down until his help could come.
Here comes Minor right up the gut. That's close. They might be giving him the spot he needed to get to the 35, and they're marking him just inside the 35 for a first down. Good play there from the Bulls, though. That's the thing that's probably frustrating them the most here, probably, is that they've had a lot of decent plays defensively. They're doing a good job of doing their best to try to stop them, but sometimes a team like Cornerstone, there's just nothing that you could do. You can do everything right, and you can be in the right position. You can be making the right plays. You can be making all your tackles, but it still might not matter. Minor and Ebert and Broad, sometimes they're just too good. Right there, like Broad, he takes that pile forward for 5 yards on first down, where he was hit immediately almost at the line of scrimmage. So that's the second time in 3 plays we've seen him taking the pile for an extra few yards, and that in the game of football is key every time, especially when you're a ground and pound team like the Cornerstone Cougars.
Broad just shoving a Bull defender as he piles forward with his offhand. That defender felt it, and I think these guys are getting really tired of tackling Minor and Broad, these hard physical runners.
2nd and 6. We'll give them about 4 there. Same play. It's a ball's loose, and we've got to recover it from the Bulls. How about that? The second turnover of the half, almost the third one, and all of a sudden, the Bulls are the team in the momentum. Their defense is really playing much better. Big miscue there for the Cougars and Broad on that fumble. He really just dropped that one on his own. That wasn't a defender knocking it out of his hands.
Yeah, that was Pierce Sanderson on the recovery, the big D lineman for the Bulls. And as you mentioned, 2 turnovers forced now here in the third quarter when you kind of thought it was going to be tough, difficult, maybe even impossible to force turnovers with how good Minor and Broad have been with the ball. But 2 turnovers here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I wasn't even considering the turnover aspect. I was even saying just to force punts because they had been so unstoppable in the first half. But right now in this half, the Bulls have really turned the defense up. Going deep, going for the quick shot, nothing doing down there. Minor was looking for an offensive pass interference. He was not going to get that. He's actually lucky that they didn't get him for anything there. That's tough when you're a cornerback to see the trajectory of the ball. But if he had noticed that would have been uncatchable. You just lay off the receiver there. Don't touch him. Don't give them a chance to call a pass interference penalty.
Yeah, but you got to like Meyer trying to take a chance and come back on first down like they did last drive with a big play. Looking for his big target. Save for 1 drop in the end zone. Roach has been really productive here tonight.
3 wide, no Graham in the backfield. We'd love to see him getting the rock. He He's in motion. They're going to make a throw. First down there. Good job there from Meyer to find his receiver, Luke George. And we've been calling George and Roach's name all night long. And right now, from what I'm seeing here, Nick, and I don't know if you agree with me, I see Branson Bulls playing the better game right now at this specific time. And, hey, when that's all that matters. The past 2 quarters, they don't matter anymore. Only what's happening now and moving forward. And if you're the Bulls, you're playing better football at this point in time. This game is far from over by any means. They go down and score a touchdown and 2 points here. It's a 2-point game.
Yeah, they've definitely been the more sound team, both defensively and offensively. Haven't made many mistakes. Forced a couple of turnovers and a nice grab right there by Luke George, who's really kind of been the possession receiver tonight for the Bulls, moving the chains while Roach kind of handles, the deeper balls. But good hands shown there on that out pattern by George.
And who needs D1 or D2 football tonight? Those are going on all around town. I'm like this open division game. This is super exciting, and I'm having a blast. First play here on the first down. Going to be a throw outside to Roach, and he's able to get 2-3 yards. He was able to pull that pile up a little bit. It wasn't really a successful play, but it was exciting to see him, not say, I don't want to be tackled right now.
Yeah, the effort was definitely there. The big man did not want to go down, but a good job by the Cougars to, really make that play go for nothing.
And the clock has been moving a lot quicker in this third quarter, and I think that actually benefits the Bulls. They want to shorten this game as much as possible. The less time the Cougars have the ball in their hands, the better. We've got a 2nd and 8 coming up, and I don't see any punts coming up, so these are all probably 4-down situations. Going to be a screen pass. Can he break off a tackle? He can! He's got blockers down the sideline. What a tackle there, though, to stop what might have been a touchdown. That was Louis Shukahosi. We've called his name quite a few times, both offensively and defensively. That being said, first down Bulls.
Gotta love that play design as Meyer had 3 receivers to his right. He looks right. The defense shifts that way, and he spins back to his left and finds Goldstein in the flat, who made a nice job yards after the catch there. First down Bulls.
Yeah, Goldstein definitely so far, in my opinion, the player of the game for the Bulls. Had a touchdown, had an interception. He's really doing a good job. Meyer going deep, has a wide receiver open. Cut! Touchdown Bulls! And all of a sudden, we have ourselves a ball game.
How about a dime from Meyer to George, who shows his hands again. This time, it's worth 6. Forget a measly first down. He says, I want to get on the board. First touchdown of the game for George.
Great pass there from Meyer, but the play was won with the route run from George. He had his defender beat by about 3 or 4 yards. All that Meyer had to do was make that pass. And he could see it in front of him, too. You see the receiver has the guy beat by that much. Just make him a nice and easy pass, and that's exactly what Meyer did. As far as quarterback accuracy, Meyer definitely has Minor beat on that one. They both have different skill sets. Minor obviously great in what he does, but Meyer able to make some good passes. And wow, 2-point conversion attempt here to make it a 2-point game. Run up the middle, Graham. He's going to get the job done. And I think that's probably what they should have done on the prior 2-point conversions. Could have been in a tie game situation right now. But, hey, they will take this all day long. It's a 44-42 game. Still a whole quarter ahead of us. And, Nick, I did not see this coming.
The Bulls fans and, training staff and coaches who traveled here from Marin County loving it. They're all standing up on their feet, as the momentum has really shifted toward the number 2 seeded Bulls. What a dime from Meyer to George there.
Yes, and as you mentioned, not only are their fans and their players and everybody, they're up, they're at them, and I don't know right now, the momentum is so far on their side. If you're the Cougars, all that you need to do, though, is do what you did in the first half on the offensive side, and that would not be minor. That could have been dangerous. They give him the touchback there, but he almost caught that ball on the 1-ish, and if that was the case, he would have had to take that out from the end zone.
He wanted to return that, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He wants to get this all done himself, so I will not be surprised at all to see him call his own number a few times here early in this possession. Hope to break another big one, which he's done all game long. He's well over 200 yards on the ground already, and he's done everything right. However, right now, the momentum is not on their side, and you're the Cougars, you're the number 1 seed, you need to go back to what you did in the first half. You need to have a lengthy drive, 5, 10, 15 plays, something like that, and go down and score a touchdown. A touchdown here for them is huge. And that's not going to get it done. Broad breaks off a couple tackles, but he went to the sideline, so he's only going to get about a 4-yard gain, and that's good defense from the Bulls. Their run pursuit right now is on point. If you are Minor and if you are the Cougars, you're going to have to hit, I think, at least one more pass in this game if you're going to win it. You can't continue to keep running it like this because they're really playing it. They're playing right up in the box. They're expecting it. They're not even putting the safety, if you want to call it a safety, back there. They're just saying, you're running it and we know it. And that might lose some yards. And it will. That's going to lose 4 yards. And it's going to be 3rd down and 8. And the Branson Bulls right now, folks, are doing everything right.
You know what? They got to point out the great linebacking play we've seen tonight by Dunning, specifically in this third quarter. And right there, another run for loss, and that was Sanderson again with the tie down. So back-to-back plays for the Bulls. Their run defense has been stout here in the third quarter.
And I think this may be the time to make that pass. It's 3rd and 7. We'll see. And they're going to try and run it with Minor outside. And he's not going to get it. He's going to lose a yard, and that is a huge stop from the Branson Bulls. And look at their sideline, Nick. They are going nuts over there. They just forced the punt.
Once again, it was Sanderson and Dunning who combined to rip down Minor, who was trying to find the edge like we've seen him do so many times tonight.
Wow. Well, we're going to take a break here. That's going to be the end of our third quarter, and what a brand new ball game. It was 38-22 heading into this quarter, a 20-6 quarter for the Bulls. They won it by 14 points. It's a 2-point game, folks. This is the Open Division Championship game. 2-point game going into the fourth quarter. What more could you ask for? We'll be back here on the NFHS Network. Welcome back here. They're going for it on 4th and 5. Minor up the middle. He cuts it to the outside, and he's able to get the first down and then some. One guy left the beat. That guy's got a beat on him. He's got to make this tackle. Minor gets up there, gets in the end zone for a touchdown. Oh, my. What a play for Dedmon Minor there. He is having himself a game, folks.
Minor hits goal again. That's a 65-yard run on 4th down and 5. Deep in his own territory. How did he just pull that off, Dustin?
I have no idea. That's pure will and determination is the only thing that I could say. He is surely a pure athlete. And they had a chance to make the stop at the 4th and 5. There was a guy there with about 2 yards left to go that could have tackled Minor, and that could have been a disaster. So a huge gamble there to go for it on 4th down instead of punting it away, and it benefits them, and all of a sudden the momentum just shifts right back. But it could shift back again here. This 2 points is huge. Up the middle, he's going to get stopped. And it does get stepped right back. The momentum is gotten back from the Bulls, and you can see them now. They're excited because even though they just gave up a touchdown, they kept this at a one-possession game. That was huge.
They know they're still alive, and who else but Pierce Sanderson on the rip down saves 2 points. But on the other side, you have Minor now with his 6th touchdown rushing of the game to go along with 1 through the air. He's simply been dominant.
Yeah, that Minor run had everything to it, including what I felt like was my favorite part of the run. Well, there were 2 favorite parts. The original break off of the tackle wasn't much in the backfield. It was just a little sliver off the one defender, but it was important because that guy gets him, you're losing the ball on downs there. And then at the back end of the play, he drags a guy for about 5 yards and then sheds that guy, and it was able to get the last 10 or 15 yards for the touchdown where the defender had the ankle on him there. The defender should have made that play. The only thing that got by him was Minor in his pure determination to get that touchdown.
Yeah, it looked for sure like Minor was going to get brought down, but somehow he pops out of there and kept his balance too. Looked like he may have put a hand on the ground, and he's able to turn that highlight play into 6.
Kickoff fielded at the 5. Breaks off a tackle, but not able to get much more, only up to the 15. So the Cougars do a good job of special teams, which we've seen them doing the majority of this game. 50-42, very early stage of the fourth quarter, only 15 seconds gone by so far. Wow, I mean, this is going to come down to the wire, to the nitty-gritty. We're going to see some exciting fourth quarter play here. Sit back and watch.
How fun is it to watch two different offenses with two different styles be really this explosive? I mean, the next touchdown, if they get the extra point, will be 100 points on the board combined. One team doing it mostly through the air, the other all on the ground.
I couldn't have expected a more exciting game. In early stages of this first half, it seemed like the Cougars were going to run away with this one, and it was Branson could not stop them. All of a sudden, their defenses really woke up. Run up the middle here from Meyer. Good run there, good tackle as well, but he will take that all day long on first down. Give him about 6 yards there, and that puts you in a situation where your playbook's wide open. I like to see them go back to Graham here. You don't, again, the less time the Cougars have the ball in their hands, the better. So you don't mind running the ball here and taking some clock, trying to divulge this game and shorten it in the sense to where, you have a better idea of how you're going to try to finish it. Right now, if you're the Bulls, this possession here can only tie it, and you don't want to really give the ball back to the Cougars at any point in time. So got to try to do something with the clock that benefits you here. Maybe you take 4 or 5 minutes off the clock and get in. They would love to do that. 2nd and 4 play, going to be a pass to the outside, wide open receiver. Breaks off a tackle. It keeps going, fights for about another 7 yards. What a job there. And right now in the second half, Meyer and Minor are trading explosive plays, but as you mentioned just a moment ago, to me on the break, Meyer is really the better overall quarterback. Minor is just an athlete. He can do a little bit of everything, but as far as pitching and catching and just having that knowledge of a quarterback, Meyer's got that.
Yeah, and he's been accurate. You see another completion there to George, but how many low snaps have skipped off the ground that he's pulled in and still been able to make a play out of it?
At least 5 or 6.
It's just incredible.
You wonder why they don't. There's another one. Yeah, you wonder why they don't go to a different snapper there. Throw up, one-on-one, intercepted up the sideline. I thought he might have stepped out of bounds at the beginning part of that pick, and they didn't call it. And they're going to give an extra 20 yards of ground there, but that's not what's important. What's important is the interception there.
Guess who?
Backbreaker there.
Minor is everywhere.
Minor.
How did he come down with that ball? He's given up about probably 5 or 6 inches to Roach, and he's able to bobble that and stay in bounds. But I have to agree with you on the return after he caught it. He did step out about the 35-yard line or so.
Yeah.
But he's able to turn it into another extra 20 yards. He's just doing it all.
A championship game, though, too. You officials have to be on point on that one. That 20 yards is huge. Not really going to kick a field goal, but if you're the Bulls, you got to stop them here. You cannot let them go in for a touchdown. And that is a decent way to start that there. Just give them about 3 yards. You, like I said, you just can't give up a touchdown here. In the fourth quarter, you don't want to go down by 2 scores. Probably not kicking field goals, so 4-down territory likely. So, this is a huge set of downs here. And if you were the Bulls and Meyer, begin to wonder if, just pitching the ball up there to your big guy Roach is the right thing to do every time.
Do you think that he was taking, too much? His eyes got too wide there. His first down, he threw all the way across the field in one-on-one coverage, just a jump ball, and Minor was able to obviously react.
Run. Minor falls down. That's big there for the Bulls. It's going to be no gain, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5, and so far they're doing what they need to do on this set of downs, and the Bulls, like I said, defensively the second half have done a really good job. There's been 2 really good plays from the Cougars, and both of them led to touchdowns, but other than that, the way that they played in the second half, they don't really deserve to be in this position, but unfortunately, that's the game of football. They got off to the slow start, and the Cougars are now taking advantage of it, also using some clock. Clock is their friend. They're up by 8 with the ball, 8:50 left to go. 3rd and 6 going to be another same run to Minor, and he is not able to get outside. He almost did. He was able to get outside the original couple guys, so instead of having no gain, he's able to get 2 or 3, but now it's bringing up 4th and 4, and Minor is over here telling Coach, I'm going for it, in which we already knew that was happening. But yeah, I think that if I were them, I wouldn't do the same play again. Minor's ran it 3 times in a row, and he's not having success in 4th and 4 situation here. Maybe give it to your big guy Broad, or maybe a play-action pass. A play-action pass is going to fool him immediately. Run up the middle, and that's going to be a touchdown for Minor. Nobody there. Great blocking up front. A couple of Bulls guys run right into each other. And that's 2 drives in a row that the Cougars have scored touchdowns from Minor on 4th down and 5 plays. That is absolutely huge on what could have been the Bulls getting the ball back. Instead, it's a touchdown for the Cougars, and now they are going for 2 to take a 16-point lead, which would be right where it was at halftime. They could have gotten back all that momentum here. If they make this 2-point conversion, there's been no ground gained.
Just a deflating play there for the Bulls defense, as they had been tightening up that run game, but you let Minor just go nearly untouched up the middle on 4th down when you have a chance to get Meyer back on the field. So just a heartbreaking possession there for that Bulls defense, who had really tightened up the screws in that 3rd quarter. But they are starting to leak here in the 4th as 2 big touchdowns for Minor.
Yeah, the 2-point conversion is good. Minor is able to run it successfully out to the left side. Now it's a 58-42 game, back to a 16-point game. And yes, you can't really knock the Bulls' defense there. It was only a 31-yard field. Honestly, that turnover was so key. And we said that earlier in this game, the turnovers would be the key in this game. And so far, we've had 4, 2 on each side. But all 4 of them have been really important ones. The 3rd quarter was all Branson. They used 2 turnovers to get themselves right back in this game. But now the Cougars, the number 1 seed, looking to win the championship here in this open division, really stepping on the throttle. Minor doing it all by himself. 2 touchdowns and an interception to get the ball back for his team, where we've seen he's a little hobbled. Now, I'm not going to say he's injured, but he's a little bit hobbled out there, so he's not even 100%, and he's out there just doing everything, including kicking off here, but that might be a bad one. Looks like it's going out of bounds, and it will. Oh, they're going to give him an offsides penalty, so they're going to get a re-kick.
And he never takes a play off. I mean, talk about the stamina of the kid. Not only has he got 7 touchdowns, but he's in there on defense. He's making interceptions. He's thrown for a touchdown. He's kicking the ball off. I mean, when does he get a break to get some water?
After the game. When the game is done, he will get a break. And, they give him the 5-yard penalty there, but that's awfully strange. I've never seen on a kickoff before where They did it as a pre-snap penalty on the offsides. They stopped the play.
They called it dead, yeah.
Yeah, because the ball went out of bounds, and that would have been great field position. They would have gladly have taken the illegal procedure penalty, but they weren't given that opportunity. They gave it a pre-snap penalty, moves him 5 yards back, gives Minor another chance to kick, and, of course, now he gets a good kick. So that doesn't benefit the Bulls at all. Nice run to the outside there, going to get to the 30-yard line. Good pursuit to make that tackle from Broad, as we've seen Broad all over the field, just like Minor on both sides of the ball. I don't think Broad's taking a break either yet tonight.
No, really impressed with a roster that has 14 guys, and one of their players is not dressed tonight, as we see on the sidelines.
Yes.
So the fact is there's no subs out there for these guys, so they're giving it all on really almost every single play here tonight. So with a lack of depth, they're somehow able to put up 58 points. It's really quite impressive.
Yeah, Emmanuel Madrigal is the player that's out tonight. I noticed that a little bit earlier as well. 8 minutes left, 16 points is not insurmountable, but it's going to have to involve another defensive stop, and I don't know if the Bulls have another one of those left in them. Great tackle there. It's going to be a 1-yard loss, and now all of a sudden the Cougars finally waking up defensively too in the second half, and for a brief moment there, it didn't seem like that was going to happen. The Bulls were on a nice fury. They had been getting everything they wanted. They had a long touchdown from Graham. They had a long touchdown to George. Things were right on cue, but all of a sudden, an interception, now a negative yard to gain here, and the Cougars' defense has gone back to what they did in the second quarter. And this game is getting into a point of danger. If you're the Bulls, you got to obviously go down right now and get a touchdown. Nothing else will do. Throw down the field. It's going to be caught, I believe. Yes, what a catch there. That was not an easy play from either Meyer or Goldstein, but they're able to get it done. So that there was huge. On a 2nd and 12, they get the 12 yards exactly and get the first down, move the chains.
Yeah, Meyer stands in the pocket strong. He was hit hard again on the hit. That was Garcia bringing the heat.
Going to have to stand in there, make a throw. Has an open receiver, just overshot him. Good job there from Ebert to get back there with him. And again, Meyer was under pressure and had to release it early. Otherwise, that's likely a touchdown.
Been really impressed with the way he stays in and lets his receivers get downfield and let the routes develop. And he took a shot there. It was into double coverage, but the receiver did have a beat on both of them.
Still all 3 timeouts in 7 minutes. More than enough time to still incorporate the run, at least on this drive. And I would not mind see them giving the ball to Graham again. He's had very successful game. His last run went for house calls. So he's in the backfield here now. Let's see if they do give it to him. They won't. They're going to keep throwing. He's going to have to throw that one away. Throw it away seemingly, but he was able to get a 6-yard completion out of it somehow, some way to Roach. There, Meyer just showing what type of skill he has there, Nick. That play seemingly like was just an easy throwaway. I don't know many quarterbacks at all that would have made that play. It doesn't really matter what level.
3 straight plays. He's under big-time pressure. Cougar defenders in his face, and he fires one upfield about 15 yards through the air. It only goes for 6, but like you said, it almost seemed like he was throwing it away, but Roach was in the right place at the right time to give them a chance to extend the drive.
2 wide, but you also have Graham in the backfield. 3rd and 5. I wouldn't be surprised to see a run right here to get this first down, and that's exactly what we're going to see. And he's not able to get the first down. He does, however, get 4. Makes it about a 4th and 1. And the clock isn't necessarily killing you yet, although it's moving very quickly, under 6 minutes now. But, you know, like I said, just 2 plays ago, I don't mind them incorporating the run on this drive. Now, if you get the ball back again, you're probably going to have to abandon that just because of where the clock's at. But you've got enough time here to take your time on this drive, score, then you got to stop, obviously, and then score again. That's your only method. And it comes down to this play here, 4th and 2. Probably going to see another run from Graham, I would assume. Yes, you will. It's on the pitch. Easy catch there. Easy first down for Graham. Gets a few more up the sideline out of bounds. That's a good play call there. You knowing what you needed, knowing the down and distance, making sure you got it.
No doubt about it. And the man who made that play happen and break up a lane for Graham was his fellow receiver, number 10, Luke George, who made a good block downfield as well as Roach. So a good job by the Bulls offensive playmakers out there on the edges. Blocking.
Got 24 yards to go here, 5:27. Still plenty of time to run if they need to. Going to run it to the outside. Has a receiver there. Nice pitch and catch for the first down. Yes, he needed to get to the 14, and it looks like he got to about the right at the 14 actually. See if they give him the first down. 10-yard gain. And so far, again, just as I said earlier, even though this fourth quarter hasn't gone to plan for the Bulls, they're going to make this come down to the end of the game. They're going to make it a nail-biter. They're going to do the best that they can here. If they get the 2-point conversion and the touchdown, it's an 8-point game, and you got all your timeouts, more than enough time to get the ball back. The question will be is are they going to be able to stop the Cougars on the next drive?
Yeah, and it's going to be key if they do score. Of course, they've got to make these 2-point conversions count.
First down play. Meyer has an open receiver. Bad throw. He had pressure on him, though. They're going to say that was a catch, and that's not the right call. That ball hit the ground.
Yeah, it was Graham on the catch, but like you said, it was behind him, and he stumbled a little bit.
Wow, all 4 of those officials missed that. That ball definitely hit the ground, and I know my eyes aren't playing tricks on me, and that actually helps the Cougars because the clock is still running, and it moves the ball backwards 2 yards, but that was one of those that wasn't even close. It short-hopped him by a good couple of yards there.
We'll see if they find Roach. He's got one single coverage over to the right side. Huge size advantage, but we've seen Miner make some plays.
Miner looks a little tired out there, too. I don't blame him. Throw up, jump ball. Incomplete. Great job there from the Bulls wide receiver to turn into a cornerback. That ball was intercepted in the end zone. Everything was done except the finish of the play. That would have been the ball game right there, so that's how important it was for the wide receiver to knock that out.
You got Ebert there who made that play defensively. He's walking over to the official like, hey, I had that ball. I'm laying down on the ground. Wasn't I down? But you said it. It was George that came in and ripped it out, and he may have fooled the official. Who knows?
Yeah, 3rd and 12 here. They got 2 plays here to get it. No time to panic just yet, but they got to get this touchdown, 4.5 minutes on the clock, or this game will be over. They had 2 plays to do it. Throw up to the end zone. Oh, he's triple covered. Did he catch that ball? Oh, my. Almost did. Incomplete pass in the back of the end zone. Actually, I think he did catch it, but he was out of the end zone. But I can't understand how he was able to catch that other than the fact that he's got about 6 inches on those guys.
I'm not sure I love that play call, back-to-back throws into the end zone, kind of putting you behind the chains on the down and distance here. Maybe a quick hitter to Graham or something like that to pick up some chunk yards, as of course you are going to go for it on 4th down, but now you're stuck in a 4th and 11 situation.
Not only just throwing it into the end zone, but into triple coverage. That was not a very smart play call. This is the game right here, folks. 4th and 12, 4:19 left. If they don't get it, they're not going to be able to come back on this one without some onside kicks. Not a best of snaps. He fields it good. Has time to throw. Has a receiver over there. Throws it up, and it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Bulls. What a job from Meyer to Roach. And he just uses his size. He's got about 8 inches on Miner. And actually, Miner wasn't even the one there. It was Shakahusi on him on that one. And, oh, my, what a job there on 4th down. You know they're throwing it to the end zone, but you're just not able to stop him. He's just too big.
Just a nice job of timing his jump. Roach, just with his big hands and that size advantage, pulls it in to keep the Bulls alive.
This is also the game here. If you don't get this too, it's also likely pretty much over. So let's see what they do. They throw it up. Intercepted! And that's going to be taken the other way. Oh, I guess they don't allow it at this level. That would have been 2 points for the Cougars if they would have allowed it. But, hey, that is a huge 2-point stop, and it's a 2-possession game. And if you're the Bulls, great job there to get the touchdown. But unfortunately, as you mentioned just before that play, those 2-point conversions are huge. They've missed 4 of them in this game. If they had all of them, it would only be a 2-point game. But that one there was the most important. If you're the Cougars here now, likely you're moving on to be the champions. Unless some craziness happens, you still have 4 minutes and 19 seconds to run. If you're the Bulls, you need either an onside kick or a turnover. I would like to see them go for the onside kick here now that it's a 2-possession game. If they had made the 2-point conversion, I kick it deep. But being that you're down by 10, I go for an onside kick. For those of you at home, who like onside kicks, if you guys watch Thanksgiving football, you saw Koo for the Falcons hit 2 onside kicks in the last minute or 2 of the game. So those things happen. They're not impossible. But if you don't go for the onside kick here, I feel like you're not playing to win. So let's see if Coach Pond really is trying to come out on top in this championship game and give his boys a chance to see if they get the onside. We're not. They're going to kick it deep. And I'm not saying they're conceding yet, but that's pretty close to a concedement at this point. They're going to hope to get a 3 and out. They got 3 timeouts, so if they can stop them, bang, 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 then they'll be getting the ball back, with still almost around 4 minutes. But, to stop this team, bang, 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 is not very easy.
We haven't really seen it happen yet. So
no.
But down 10, it is a 2-possession game. Like you said, it has to be a stop or a turnover or perhaps an onside kick because you got to score twice in 4 minutes.
If I were the Cougars, I would do nothing but simply run the ball up the middle a few times. Even if you don't get a first down here, that doesn't really matter too much. You do want to run that clock. Your clock is your best friend, and you want to get rid of those 3 timeouts for the Bulls. That's your goal right now. Run up the middle, and that's going to be a house call looking like for Miner. Miner is just unstoppable. Outruns the whole defense. Unstopped up front. See you later, Miner. How about that? And now we're getting guys chasing each other down over there.
And get him a taunting flag at the end.
Yeah, because he stayed in bounds and was running up the sideline until he went into the end zone to run a couple seconds off the clock. I don't like that from Miner there, Stay classy out here, boy. You're having yourself an amazing game, and that's the last thing that you need to do. The clock, you don't need to worry about the clock right now. You guys got a 3-score lead, so. Actually, are they not going to mark the touchdown up there for him? That should have been an after the play penalty, you would think. Or did he go out of bounds at the 1-yard line?
No, he definitely didn't.
Let's see what they do. It's not up on the scoreboard yet. The fans are even yelling out here, what's the call?
Because taunting can't take away from the touchdown.
It shouldn't, but at this level, we don't necessarily know exactly what's happening with
There it is. They gave it to him.
Touchdown good.
Score's good.
Touchdown's good, and so that will put them into a 16-point game pending this 2-point conversion. See, this might be one of those times where I would have kicked the extra point. The extra point would make it 3 scores. Huge situation. 4 minutes isn't much time, but I could see the Bulls scoring 16 points in 4 minutes. Not a problem. The only issue would be them getting the ball in between that.
8 touchdowns on the night for Minor on the ground.
Wow. Going to pass it on the 2-point conversion attempt. That's a bad pass. I don't like that play call at all from Minor there. They've been doing such a good job running it. They try to make a pass there, and that leaves it in a 2-possession game.
Yeah.
Some slight window room there for the Bulls. You just got to score quickly.
That's just a head-scratcher right there. Really, like you said, you could have perhaps kicked it, but you throw it on the 2-point conversion. We haven't seen them even favor the passing game tonight. Why not just keep it on the ground and get the 2 yards and make it a 3-score game?
Right. And now we're getting near that prior score, 66-62 before. Now we've got 64-48, and I don't think the scoring's quite done yet.
So that penalty should push them back for the kickoff, right?
Yes.
So you'd have to assume Branson might get pretty good starting field position out of this penalty, as Minor kind of tiptoed laterally all the way across the field trying to waste time, but the official said you were taunting, son, so there's a 15-yarder.
Yeah, these 2-point conversions on both sides have been a lot of head-scratchers. They should really be all converted, I feel like, just because these teams are having such a good job doing offense that when they get down to the 2-point conversion, it's been a little bit of a wonder why they're not getting them. Branson, if they had gotten all of theirs, it would be an 8-point game right now, but unfortunately they're down by 16. Running out of time, and not a very good kickoff return there. They will get it out to the 35 due to the short field, but you got 3 timeouts is one of the benefits you have. So if you're able to go down and score really quickly here within the next couple of minutes, then you still have the opportunity to stop them and get the ball back. We don't know about the onside kick situation. They didn't try one last time. I'm assuming that they would after this drive if they score. If they don't, then one would assume that that's not an option. And
chance of Cougars over here on the Cornerstone side. The fans from Antioch who made the short drive over here.
Yeah, they're looking to get this championship win here. Meyer rolls out. Going to have to run out of bounds on that one. Was unable to even get a throw off. That's going to be a big loss there, about 7 yards. 2nd and 17 coming up here. 3:46 left to go in this one. I'm Dustin Padgett here. Well, thank you guys for tuning in here. We hope you're all having a wonderful Friday evening. It's been an exciting game to watch. That's to say the least.
Yeah, kind of a weird play there on first down from Meyer to just run out of bounds and take a big loss.
The way he was running and where the defenders were at, I don't think he could have done. He didn't have time to turn his body to make a throw, so at this point, it's, I don't know. There's just so much that they need to go right to have even a chance here at the end of the game. And that's going to be a big sack. Got a flag thrown. So let's see if that was possibly a face mask. That'd be the only thing that would help them. Otherwise, it was a holding penalty.
In on the play, that was Zuckerman and Alvarez tag teaming with a conference call at the quarterback, and it's Meyer who goes down. A huge loss.
3rd and about 34, looks like. 3rd, 34. And at this point of the game, just 3 minutes left. They're just playing it out now. It's, all about going through the motions at this point. Lots of craziness would need to happen for anything other than a Cornerstone victory here. Throw to the outside. Graham makes a good catch, but we also get a good tackle out there. That's going to bring up 4th down. Well, it's Broad out there. You get the loud cheer for Broad as he makes that tackle. It's going to bring up 4th and a long way to go.
Yeah, now's one of those situations where you kind of expect a jump ball to Roach. I mean, that's really your only option here, unless you've got some kind of quick hitter over the middle, maybe some hook and ladder type play, but I doubt that they have one of those in the playbook, so I'd expect to see a long throw to Roach.
Yeah. 2:15 on the clock. Pretty much conceding at this point. They're not in any hurry. 4th and 24. He's got a guy. One-on-one. Intercept. No, not intercepted. Dropped. But that's okay. That actually benefits the Cougars. It gives them an extra 40 yards of field position. But at this point, it doesn't matter. I expect them to just run the ball a few times and run this clock out here. And Nick,
there's a flag down.
Well, we got a flag an eligible man downfield on the throw. So even if that ball had been caught, it wouldn't have mattered. Turnover on downs. And Nick, we had an exciting game here. And, obviously give all the credit in the world to the Cougars. They're going to be your Open Division champs, undefeated, 20 wins in a row. This Cornerstone program is something else. But I want to tip my hat to the Branson Bulls. They had a great season when we lost 2 games here with this one. Made it all the way to the championship game. And they played a really, really good third quarter. Made this a brand new ball game. Coming into the fourth quarter, it was just a 2-point game.
Yeah, they definitely did not make things easy on Cornerstone. You kind of thought coming out of the halftime things could get ugly and perhaps out of control with Cornerstone up by 16 points, but nonetheless, as you mentioned, they make it a 2-point game, and you're thinking it's anybody's ball game, but it's just simply too much minor for anybody in this section to handle. And 8 touchdowns it's unheard of in a championship game, and credit that senior to go along with all the other plays he's made here tonight. Really impacted the game and been the key for the Cougars.
Yeah, both Minor and Broad, I expect to see those young men playing college football somewhere without a doubt. Even though they're at small programs here, folks, that does not mean anything. Those are athletes. These are good young football players. And you can go to the Branson side, too, and pick a few of those players that I can tell you the same thing, like Graham and Meyer and Roach. All of those players are going to have successful careers in the game of football if they so choose.
Right. And the other thing that's important is, their schools are private, smaller schools, and so that the academics are there. And just really impressed with both of these programs to put on a show like this for us tonight.
Yes, I couldn't have been happier with the game that we saw. I knew we were going to have an exciting one, and they gave us exactly what I had hoped for. Couldn't have wished to be anywhere else on this Friday evening. Like I said, don't matter to me. D1, D2, Open Division, it's all good because this Open Division game here, folks, might have been one of the best games on the agenda for the whole area on the radar tonight.
Probably very few games, if any, in the state tonight that hit 100 points.
Yes, exactly.
But here we're going to go ahead and throw up 110 with a little bit of time for some more if somebody breaks a tackle on one of these run plays.
And see, it wasn't even just the point totals that were scored, but it was the fact that it was a good game too as well, because sometimes the lower divisions you go, it's hard pressed to have a good matchup. Sometimes it's one dominating over another.
Right.
But tonight it was not that at all. I mean, of course, the Cougars are the better team, and they came out on top showing why they're the better team. But as far as how this game progressed, all 4 quarters, I mean, it could have gone either way. This fourth quarter could have gone differently. It did not have to go the way that it did. Credit the Cougars for making it happen at this way. But coming into this fourth quarter, I mentioned that I thought the Branson Bulls might come out on top, that they were playing so much better at that point in time. So give the credit to the Cougars for turning that around, dominating this fourth quarter in this neutral site, coming out as the number 1 team, Open Division champs. This is as far as you can make it. And for some of these young boys, I mean, I feel like it's just a little bit different for them because they're at a private Christian school. They're small. They've only got 41 boys in their whole class. I went to a very similar school myself. I understand that concept. It's hard-pressed to find a good football team out of just 41 kids, but they took a third of those young men, put them out here on this football team, and have come out and have shown what good football is all about. Great job for the Cornerstone Cougars. They are something else. They are really an exciting football team, and I can tell you folks one thing at home. Moving forward, next season, maybe the seasons upcoming in the future, I'm going to keep my eye on the box score for this team just to see how they're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, why not? They come into this game averaging 54 points, so it's a high-octane offense, and here they have 64. as that last one goes nearly to the goal line, but that's going to be the final play of the game.
Yes, they're not. That's smart. They're playing it classy. They're not going to try to rush up to the line to pound onto the score. This is the championship game. There's no need for it. In fact, I would have liked to see them knee it before this last play, but that's okay. They were just getting a little bit of more running room in, and heck, they almost put up a touchdown. But they're going to come out on top. They're going to be the Open Division champions, and as you see, their fans here are cheering, and they're going nuts. And you know what? The Branson Bulls, their fans and their players and their coaching staff, have got nothing to hold their heads down about. If you would have told them at halftime that they would have played an even second half, they probably would have been like, well, all right. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, they weren't looking like in the first half, at the end of that half, that they were really going to keep this game close. And they made a huge run there, Nick, in the third quarter to cut this to a 2-point game. It could have gone either way at that point. All the credit in the world to these Cougars as you see them celebrate their championship here in this Open Division. This is the first championship in the NorCal region. As the weeks move on over the next week or two, we're going to see a lot more championship games coming.
Especially right here on the NFHS network. Tomorrow's a full loaded day of section finals, so definitely stay tuned all across the section, especially in the Sac Joaquin where all the divisions are finishing up.
Yes, I'll be doing the Salesian game tomorrow night, D7 championship game, and you guys should tune into that one if you've got the opportunity. Again, we want to thank you all for tuning in here on your Friday evening. We hope you guys are enjoying it. Again, the NFHS Network, we got games going all across the U.S. all day long. Anytime you want to come watch, just click onto the site. It's only $10 a month. Very cheap subscription to come and check out as many football games as you guys want. And this playoff season couldn't be more exciting for Nick Cahill, Dustin Padgett. You want to thank my crew members for coming out here. Had a great time here this Friday evening at Rio Vista High School. As you see the celebration going on down below, final score, Cornerstone 64, Branson 48. Over and out.